Just getting some June wholesale inventory data coming through this morning. Looks like in line with expectations, just hearing in my ear here, 0.2%. So not updating here yet, but 0.2% as expected for June wholesale inventories. Retail inventories, ex-autos expected here, negative 0.1% as well. Goods trades balance advance for June as well, expected to be negative 102 billion. Coming up at 9:45, we'll get S&P Global Composite PMI. That's flash number for July. 10 o'clock new home sales. Some energy data then at 10:30 as typical for Wednesday as we get going on what's turning into a bit of a negative showing here for the overall market. Here's why. If you missed it after the close yesterday, we had Google out with earnings. For the most part, not bad, actually, until they got to the YouTube part of the earnings report. That was worse than expected across the board. Forecast was kind of in line with expectations as well. But yeah, all the way back to 174 right now. Session lows down 4.25%. Tesla, on the other hand, also downside this morning. Margins a bit of a problem for Elon. And Tesla at the moment going forward, blaming some of the price adjustments that they've made, some of the incentives that came through as well over the past year. 8.7% downside for Tesla, so the market feeling it here.
Yeah, it's not a good look. I mean, obviously, if you're holding this one and anticipated a better than expected result, you didn't get it yesterday, but there were some good signs. Solar capacity, energy storage, essentially for their solar capacitors, really booming year over year there. You know, there was energy generation and storage businesses, the area I'm talking about, Brendo, but what really stood out to me with Tesla, net income down 45% year over year because of the cut.
Yeah, and I'm wondering if that's why we've been hearing more and more, and the conversation has been shifting more and more of late towards the robots, towards autonomous driving, and away from the car industry. I mean, we've talked about it, you know, for months and months. It seems like on this show that the demand is going down, not up for EVs at the moment, guys. Trying to hold 225 here this morning for Tesla. Neil with a day off today. Obi in this morning. Good morning, guys.
This guy's a lot of days off. Hey, what's up, Obi?
How you doing?
Oh man, it's going to be a rough morning. I feel like at the open here, down 1.4%. But yeah, you had your birthday week last week. You guys had a good time there on Friday. You're still alive, so that's great. Everybody in the chat excited to have Obi here today, and on what a volatile day, down 1.4% to start with. And it's Tesla day. It's going to be Google day. And lots Alphabet. We calling it Google or Alphabet?
I switch between like Alpha and Goggle, and
I've already done that.
I got a few different names. Depends on the mood.
I want to go short Tesla, I think. I mean, we had such a monster run up in the name, and I just feel like right now, that quarter, there wasn't much there. That's 4 straight quarters of them not being able to meet expectations there. And it happens again here today with margin shrinking as well. And then the push out of, okay, well, here we go. I wrote down, let's take this pre-market low break. That's happening like right now on Tesla. So this might be a little early, but 224.50. Anyways, like Sharif said, if we're going to talk about their power generation unit and things like that as being a catalyst, I think we're not in the right spot. This is supposed to be the company that, you know, they sell all the cars, they make the cars, they have the margin. And all they really did was talk about a newer model, cheaper model coming in 2025. Will they be able to make a lot of money on that? I don't know. I don't know if that will make up for the difference here. I know that there's a lot of reasons to like Tesla. They have those robots. I think the automation's coming, right? But are they the only company that's doing full self-drive? I mean, it's popular in China. Right here, you have to have assisted full self-drive. Yeah. Right? So we'll have to get that going. That has to get passed through different legislations and things like that, and make sure that it's working properly. So I don't know. Look, I mean, I own the stock, but I just feel like today there's going to be a lot of flush in this name, because remember where we came from. I mean, we were talking here. Remember, we had that bet, what's going to get to 200 first? Yeah. Well, it was almost like what's going to get to 300 first. I mean, that went to 270. 270, yeah. So I just feel like, although I got some out actually at 265, which seems to be now a good decision. But before yesterday, I feel like it was up in the air. It was a little bit of a toss-up. But now Tesla's down 9%. The expected move was actually, I think it was 8.3% or something. So it's not like we're way out of base here right now, but definitely the push to the low side. I mean, I wonder what everybody in the chat thinks today about Tesla as well, because I feel like there's going to be different opinions. People may want to come in here and buy this dip.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think just looking at the chart here, this is an hourly. Yeah, we got to a high of 271, and then we've only been making lower highs, and then earnings comes out. not really taken too well by the street, and then we're selling off, breaking below some of these consolidation lows that we've been making, some of the higher lows that we've been making. And yeah, you're right, we came up from that 200 break not too long ago, just prior earnings, and we started attempting to push towards that 200, made a little bit of a base, but it should be interesting. And yeah, they don't only just sell EVs. I think Tesla, I think their mission statement is more along the lines of it's like energy based, right? So you know that they're into solar cells, they're into the robots, they're into AI. So they do a lot of different things. So it should be interesting. But today for trading, technically it is breaking down of some of these levels that we've held as support while we've been making lower highs, and then on earnings you get a nice little strong push to the downside here. So I think definitely be watching this 232 level here in and around some of these bottoms, and you can see that nice little wipe up. So maybe we got some air until 213s here. Look further left, and you can see that, yeah, a little bit of a selling pressure from here prior, I guess, January earnings on Tesla sold off again off of this 212 area, only about 10 points away from there. So it should be interesting today. Tesla and Goggle definitely on watch.
A few different names coming through there. All right, let's go back to the desk and start reviewing some more information.
All right, we were just talking about Aston Martin, another earnings name, trades over in the UK. Q2 profit beating expectations across the board for Aston Martin. That's Visa. Visa downside in a pretty big way this morning. I was just going over a couple of charts here on another platform. Visa's cross-border volume growth, downside for the third quarter in a row, and then the post-pandemic volume growth, downside for the third quarter in a row as well. So Visa getting hit here this morning, basically session lows right now.
Yeah, it's not a good look. We kind of were worrying about this with the slowdown in consumer spending, all-time high with respect to debt. Here's the look. Lower than expected Q3 revenue, as Brendo alluded to. The slowdown is really attributed to inflation and high borrowing costs, reducing customer spending, stagnant wage growth. Well, we've seen this on NFPs and other wage indicators that the acceleration in wage growth has slowed down quite a bit, and Visa reporting a July payment volume slowdown as well, so lower spending in the summer, and the market not really liking that a whole lot, Brendo.
Yeah, if you zoom out a little bit, this is a weekly chart for Visa. We're basically in no man's land right now for this thing, guys, kind of between any significant levels on a higher time frame.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about this last night a little bit, and it got worse. I mean, when it came out, it was dancing around here, 262 and change. And we thought maybe we were going to hold 260. Join us every single night for our market recap show, especially during earnings season. We had a great one yesterday with Brian. And then today, I think Chris, I guess I'm doing it. I guess it's Neil's not here. Unless Obi's going to do the market recap show. 260 coming through right there is the 200 period moving average. We have the volume weighted average price at 256 right there as well. So, yeah, I mean, a downsized move, right? I mean, a lot of us want to drop volume weighted anchors and things like that onto charts, and we can do that too, right? I mean, here you go into here. Oh yeah, that's right. I have to, that freezes up when I leave it running sometimes because I have all these scanners going. But at the end of the day, you know, I thought their earnings was not necessarily negative. Their increase on revenue, EPS as well, adjusted EPS grew. But at the end of the day, Visa's getting hit here. We don't have a strong consumer as we think. It's broken down. We actually talked, I mean, I thought the chart of Google was looking pretty good, but we did talk about this one, and I was thinking that this was looking bad, right? And we talked about it failing off the 50-period moving average a couple times here, like almost 4 straight times. Just went back to it, hit the 200, went back to the 50 and failed again. So now you're just pushing lower here on Visa. It's going to be a buy at some point. Didn't we have American Express? I thought they were okay last week, right? Or let me see, or was I the wrong way on that one there? American Express, load up on the daily chart. Yeah, so, you know, they had a little bit of a dip buy opportunity there and bounced right back as well. So American Express well above the 50-period moving average, and then you get Visa the other way around, making lows right here. So, I mean, I'd rather buy one and the other if you play Would You Rather. I mean, I'd rather be short Visa and long American Express right now. So, yeah, not a great quarter there, but I don't think it was that bad. The spread right now is $1, Obi. So for me, a little bit too much, but you talked to me this morning about a play like on GE that could have been had yesterday that has a wider spread. Plays on UPS that have wider spreads off the open as well. So Is there anything you're seeing maybe on Visa?
Yeah, a bit of a spready ticker here. I think I did trade a little bit of UPS there yesterday, and yeah, there's a bit of a spread, about a point at times, but I think again, I'm starting to get more comfortable with spready tickers, let's say.
All right.
Because I don't know, I feel like when the spread kind of opens up and closes in, I think there's definitely a little bit of tell there. And I do like that.
You have to be like watching the stock and being able to see like once you're
because it's a spread and then the bid steps in or the ask steps in. It's like.
And I don't mean to step in right now.
Yes.
But attention, people on the desk. I don't know if there's news or anything here or not, but right now Nvidia down 3% and has just got hit. Like, I mean, the whole market's going down, so there's nothing really no news story here. But there goes Nvidia. Like, this has been a pretty. And by the way, this is the first. This is the number one idea that's not an earnings play today, is to go short Nvidia. But again, like, this thing has just broke down again, and it's going to take 119. And then, so when you're looking at a stock like this today, you don't want to stand. We always talk about not standing in front of falling knives and whatnot. And it's great to have Fabian back, by the way. Hey, what's up to Fabian? This 118 level is going to come into play here. I don't think I want to stand there and watch it. I'm going to watch how it plays around it, but I'm not going to get involved at this level right now. I want to fade any kind of pops. I heard Yannick come in and tell Obi stay with the trend. And I mean, I think that, I think that today, on a day like today, I think that's going to be right. Yeah. Until we're able to find some bottoms that we can base some knowledge off of, like, show us a bottom. Yeah. Show me the money. We used that Jerry Maguire last week. Show us that you want to stop going down. Because some of these names are so heated right now. Like, the PEs of many of these names, like, people are rushing in to buy CrowdStrike. That PE is still ridiculous. It's over 100. There's names out there that are just value stocks running in about 15 to 18. Some of these high tech names over 30 on their valuations right now. And it's just like there can be a lot of money coming out. And I don't want everybody like crying wolf or screaming wolf or whatever it is, but at the same time, the NASDAQ is looking like it wants to break below the 50-period moving average. The last time we did that hadn't been back into April, and we flushed pretty decently, but then was bought back real quick. So, I mean, you could get some flushes there, but it's been a real nice ride for the bulls. And I don't think it's over by any stretch of the imagination, but I do think that some air could come out. I mean, if you lost 10% on 500, which is what the top was, you're only down here to 450. I think, a 200-period moving average is where you want to get real nervous. So that would be about down 7 or 8% from its highs, and we're down about 4 right now, and actually adding another 1.5 to it today. So, just today giving us about 6% off of its all-time highs. I still think we're okay, but a healthy pullback seems to be a little more healthy right now.
Yeah, no, I like that. We kind of I did pull up the DAC chart here, 3 hours. We failed to follow through into 21. We almost got to 21 thou, and then pulled right back in. And then was it yesterday or something? A couple days ago, a couple days of a test, and we're pulling back below that 20 thou mark, revisiting these 19s again. And yeah, looking left here, a little bit of a space to the downside. So I think, yeah, definitely well within trend for a healthy pullback. I definitely would agree on that. Again, just if you just put like just a rudimentary just trend line right here, you can see that with some of these bases that we've made here, we got lots of room to come in and still be very, very strong on the year even. Right. I think like what is this? Come down to like 19.1s, maybe even the high 18s as well, is showing me that there could be potentially space to kind of come in. But we'll see what happens with these tech names selling off over the past couple of days. And then now we got earnings, Google earnings sold off, Tesla earnings sold off. So that's two of the Mag 7. And then next week we're going to have more chips coming in. So we'll see what the amalgamation of all of these earnings kind of pull, where they pull the futures. Let's see. I'm curious.
All right, some of the other EV names downside this morning, along with Tesla coming off their report, Rivian here, 5% already. Selling off pretty hard right now, coming into that level from yesterday at the open. We're all the way back to 1665. So, I mean, as you were just saying, not much getting spared here so far in this sell-off.
No, not on my watch list. Everything really is red, but Rivian has a specific headline to it, and it's an ongoing lawsuit that they have with Tesla filed back in 2020 by Tesla, basically accusing Rivian of encouraging Tesla employees to defect, poaching employees with the intent of stealing trade secrets ideas. There is a court date for today, a hearing set in Santa Clara. Essentially, the judge there basically denied Rivian's motion to dismiss, saying that there was enough evidence by Tesla to go ahead. And Rivian has made claims that, hey, we've investigated these employees that we hired. They didn't steal anything. The judge feels that the investigations were a little incomplete, Brendo, so he's letting it go ahead.
How does Elon feel, I think, is probably the better question. You can't do that to Elon. Can't steal from Elon. ENPH, another one. Not everything is negative. I mean, this one's still holding on to a bit of a gain right now. 2.4%, 2.36 anyways for ENPH off a beat for them.
I actually had Rivian marked down here on today's sticky note. You can go find it at Trader TV, Sean, right now. It's up. And I just put it in the corner, and it was actually because it was on our watch list. So I want to make sure everyone signs up for the watch list. I mean, this is where I get all the ideas from, to be honest with you, and we've talked about that over and over again. Rivian 17 short sell. And I just wrote down here, we're not going to get to 17. Well, we might get to 17 now, I don't know. Or just that break of 1640. We had a bad number from GM yesterday. That name got clobbered yesterday. And now today, we have, you know, the king of the castle come out and be down 9% with Tesla and still going lower and dragging the whole market. How can Rivian actually be up today? It can't. It's down 5%. So now let's see. I mean, the chart looks great for a short because we've been up here before and faded. So if you're looking for short, you have some outs. But we could still hold this area. I'm just worried that we don't. So this break right here of 1640 for me gives us about 8 days or so of information right there. And if we can break lower, then yeah. I mean, the next support is the 200. Often you don't get the 200 above the 50. So, I mean, this name, huge move up. It got way too extended. But at the same time, I mean, the stock has Volkswagen behind it. There's a few good stories there about their battery production. They have a couple new models. They're finally selling more cars. They're starting to send out as many vehicles as they have demand, so that's good. Remember, with Rivian, they always had that order book. It wasn't the fact that there was nothing there for Rivian. It's just they couldn't meet demand. So now they're starting to pump out some more trucks and whatnot. Rivian could be a winner in the long term, but I think short term right here, too many headwinds, man, in the EV space, and you're coming up to this level. I don't know. For me, like yesterday, we nailed that Palantir long. Yep. It broke through days highs. It was 2860, I believe. It was a weekly high. Kept pounding up against that, and it broke. And we can actually hear it now that we're still on the screen, and I might as well do this quickly. We had this trade yesterday. Hold on, there it is. Let me just zoom back out. It was right here when we broke 20. It was right here. So we can zoom back, but it was these highs. It goes back a while. It zoomed into it, broke it, and then just kept on going, right? I mean, obviously, at the end of the day, we had to fade out, but good, quick trade. So I'm thinking the same thing here for Rivian, but flip that chart upside down. So it's like you're coming into some levels here that we should be able to break. Where it looks like we're right there right now. And then you use the daily as your ultimate test and it breaking, you know, 1640. So it looks like it might be 1630. I'll maybe dig into a little bit more of a specific price. But I think for me today, Rivian, this could be a big opportunity.
Yeah, no, I like that idea. Kind of, again, Tesla reporting, taking a look at the EVs for the sympathy or even the inverse kind of disconnect play. Definitely is something to watch for today. Going back to this ENPH here, I do have it on my list as earnings day one here. It did a little bit of a shake and bake, nothing too crazy. Pops up to 114s, comes right back in, and pretty much it's trading just above its whatever it closed at yesterday, which is just above that 105 mark there on ENPH. We know that energy's kind of been there's been a bit of a buzz over energy over the past couple of weeks. You can see these strong volume candles as well, with maybe some more participation than normal there. But yeah, a little bit of a downtrend on ENPH. Let's see what it does. Again, earnings day one, maybe not the top focus with some of these tech names, and again, EVs being on watch with Tesla and Google reporting. Visa as well, right? Visa And another one I have down is AT&T. AT&T also reported, should be an interesting look there. We know that Verizon reported a couple, was it last week? I think so, last week. Yeah, should be an interesting move here as AT&T doing a little bit of an opposite move of what Verizon did off of the open there.
A couple of analyst moves to mention this morning. We were talking about Spotify yesterday. Ended up being a bit of a non-event off of earnings. The move itself happened pre-market and then nothing much to do with this. Throughout the session, Goldman Sachs and Rosenblatt with positive notes on Spotify once again this morning. Again, absolutely blowout quarter for them, but not a lot of price action yesterday.
No. It's an interesting day. I thought it would do a little bit better. As you mentioned, Rosenblatt maintaining their buy rating and boosting the price target from $396 the whole $399, $3 upgrade there. No, we saw yesterday that they grew subscribers year over year quite aggressively. Their premiums, their ad tier did well. They continue to increase prices, so their margins are expanding. It's a good look, Brendo, but like you mentioned to me yesterday, YouTube Premium has music. What?
Yeah.
I didn't know about this, so I'm double paying.
Yeah, same. Another one downside here this morning, not JP Morgan, it's Apple, but JP Morgan with a note on Apple just went red to the tune of about 0.5%, was up early on this morning, but gave back that 225 already.
Yeah, we're going to get to it when we talk about all these stocks. We're going to talk about Tesla, we're going to talk about Google, we're going to talk about them all. I actually have written down for a long idea. I mean, if we're going to talk about a opportunity to go long in any name today in a big cap tech, I think it could be Apple. And the reason why I talk like that, is because, we like Apple. That's right. Apple's always clear skies. The parting of the Apple clouds. Yes. No, but at the end of the day here, it's only down 0.5. Right, the NASDAQ's clearly down 3 times that. So I feel that there could be some strength into this name. And what I've done is I just zoomed this back in a little bit here and just looked at 22. So it's like if we can fade out, we've been holding this area now since the 18th, which isn't that long, but it's been this whole week that we've held out. We've come down, we've tested, and we've held. So that's 2 things. One, if you like the long, that's 22.42. So I think you could kind of start the bidding in and around there, 22.30, 22.50, something like that. Take a few small shares. If it does come into 22, then you think, okay, I'm going to put on 1,000 shares or whatever you want to put on for Apple there. Will be different for people. That could be a maximum position, but then when it breaks 22, you are 100% out of that trade. So I just feel that there's going to be no support here, and if it breaks, because then you have, this is $22 here as well. So this is where, it just craters down. Like you don't really have, that's the break. It's like a gap fill. We just banged our head against it a couple times until eventually breaking. And that was a day break, right? This was at, what time was this? This is at 9:30 right here. It's 20-minute chart. So in the first 30 minutes of the day, we break higher through that. We didn't get really a chance to see. It kept banging its head. And we have to find out the day on the 5th what happened there. But good news, boom, boom, off to the races. Probably an upgrade. All right, so I'm nervous for this trade, Obi, but I think it's worth taking for a long. I mean, the market, it's like trees don't grow to the sky, blah, blah, blah. They eventually come down. At some point, roots, do they always just continue to go down? I don't know, but there's going to be a base here at some point for Apple, and I think it showed its face to us. 222 for a potential long. Hey, Obi, I see what you got over there. I like it.
What do I got?
Got a little fruit salad over there.
Yeah, I got a little fruits. Yeah, for the.
I might go get some fruit salad.
Breakfast. Yeah, no. I like the look on Apple. Something that I've been noticing over the past few days is that Apple has been in a multi-day range here. So if you take a look right here, okay, so made a little bit of support right there. So we'll measure it off of that one. As that support breaks, we kind of make these tops right here acting as a bit of resistance. And yeah, you're right, that 222, 223 area, you can see whenever we kind of get into the zone here, it kind of gets bid right back up. So as of right now, for the past, 1, 2, 3, 4 days, it seems to me that Apple is kind of stuck pinballing in this range here. So I'll definitely be watching some of these prices here for a potential range trade, but even the break of the range, right? If the market continues to be heavy and we are consolidating with a little bit of a lower high here, 237 all-time highs, 237.21, pull back in, consolidate sideways. So are we going to go up? Are we going to go down? I have no idea, but the range break is going to be interesting, and even the sustaining the range and taking the range trade is going to be interesting for me as well on Apple here. So interesting price action over the past 4 days. Will it last? I feel like things are not as straightforward in the market for very long, or if they are, they don't really last very often. But the fact that this kind of range has been knocking on both sides for the past, let's say 3 days, a little bit of 4 as we entered into here, is definitely interesting to me. I'm going to be watching both of these levels, 223 and 227s here on Apple today for some market direction as well.
Let's go over to Adara.
Speaking of Apple, this one actually at the top of the upgrades list today, getting positive notes from both JP Morgan Chase and Barclays. JP Morgan Chase raising its price target to $265. Spotify getting a Goldman Sachs upgrade after its earnings yesterday. We have Estee Lauder getting an upgrade from RBC Capital Markets, actually trading up about 1.7% right now, and Lockheed Martin getting an upgrade as well from TD Cowen. On the downgrade side, we have earnings named Tesla here kicking off the list, getting a downgrade from Cantor Fitzgerald, along with a price target increase. They also got a price target increase from Piper Sandler this morning as well. NXP, this is another recent earnings name. This one getting a downgrade from TD Cowen. Ulta Beauty getting a downgrade from Piper Sandler. And last but not least, General Motors getting a downgrade but a price target increase from Morgan Stanley. Quite a few interesting names here, guys.
Got upgraded, yeah.
Should be interesting.
Okay, good couple looks there. We were just talking about an upgrade, or Lockheed Martin from yesterday, and then the upgrade comes today. Texas Instruments, another name that's pretty strong here off earnings as well. Trying to catch a bid at 2.35%. All right, so you want to have a big trade? You want to have a big trade on board here?
Ulta Beauty.
Ulta Beauty, baby. It has not been a beautiful stock for shareholders over the last little while. It's now bang. I mean, this has been a horrible daily chart for Ulta Beauty. And right now it's coming up to obviously we just talked about that getting downgraded right there. What about this? Like, you are I mean, there's so many names right now that are in the consumer space. We talk about Nike, we talk about Starbucks, Williams-Sonoma, whatever, all these names. Chipotle is another one that's getting hit. McDonald's. I mean, yeah, obviously in some of the fast food space, getting hit. Wendy's, whatnot. But I mean, look at Ulta Beauty. You can look at Elf Cosmetics as well. But this name really has gotten its sort of wind taken out of it. And you're right now on huge lows. Like, it's back to 2022. That's the October bottom that we all wish we bought. But if you bought there, you're wondering why you didn't sell somewhere up here, because right now Ulta Beauty continues to go lower. And I think just like a 375. This is really this is 370, but that break lower here, I think you've got it now. I mean, you're below the 50-period moving average. You could not get above this 410 marker. We couldn't even get above it in May. Couldn't get above it again here. Now you go to the downside for Ulta Beauty. I'm not sure. I have to. I said that I actually forgot to reboot my Trade Ideas platform, so I'm not sure when they report. But Ulta Beauty right there, I'm going to look it up on Benzinga. That would be the name for me to look at. I'm just going to go find when they report.
Yeah, no, I really like this look on LMT. Like, this is the first time I've pulled up the monthly chart on Lockheed. And take a look at this acceleration of the bid that happened in 2013. Sean, this is absolutely crazy. Like, this is what, $80? I don't know how many splits this has on the way, but it's through the 80, and now we're testing 500 within the span of I guess just over 10 years. But these are all-time highs right now, Sean, on Lockheed Martin. They had earnings yesterday, so take a look at this. This is what I was talking about yesterday. It definitely came up on my scans. I was like, wow, this thing closed at high a day. Kind of breaking out of prior all-time highs there, and now we're holding that 500 mark that we just pushed right over going into the close there. So definitely a look on today, and with that upgrade from TD, so it should be interesting. Let's see if that 500 holds for that continuation on LMT, pushing all-time highs today. Again, doing some relative volume yesterday. Started off with over 20 times in the pre-market, then sustained about 3 to 4 times R-vol straight into the close. And take a look at this expanding volume going into the close I'm really curious to see whether or not we hold some of these same prices from yesterday. 500 break on LMT should be interesting. A little bit of tailwind from that upgrade as well.
Yeah, great. I mean, look, defense. I mean, come on. I mean, where this world's heading right now, there's a reason why we like, hold on. The reason why we like certain stocks around here, you know what I mean? I mean, we're back in the building with our Palantir hat. Oh no, I don't have my, oh, they're back over there, okay. But all right, so I found out Ulta Beauty right here, and yeah, they are coming with report on August, so August 22nd. But I just want to show everybody here, look at this. So their EPS 2 quarters ago, 8, right? We just froze there. Now we're at 647. So getting to the downside, EPS is expecting lowers as well. Look at this, 558. So I mean, you don't have a great little number there. And then their revenue as well, missing all over the place. I mean, not missing, they're actually beating, but a lot lower here on their revenue. Like they're making the same amount today that they were, or less than they were a year prior. So not a great look for Ulta Beauty, but yeah. I think the stock is getting to a point now that if you get one more downgrade, and we still have a long ways before earnings, I like Ulta Beauty to the downside right here if you're playing for something. So yeah, a good little look there on the earnings board or on the upgrades and downgrades.
Yeah. Is that?
All right, let's get into everything else we need to know here this morning to head towards the open. We'll kick it off with a look at the overall market.
We closed out 1 point below that 5,600 point level. 55.99 was the closing print yesterday. We're well below that now, gapping down overnight. The overnight high is 55.85. So we'll say if for whatever reason we start curling back up 5,600 as resistance, but to support, we got to go all the way back to early July. 55.10, we'll use that area as support.
If you haven't done so yet, go down to the description of this video file right now. Hit the link for the watch list, enter your email address, and then you get everything you need to know delivered right to your inbox every single morning for free. Tesla, top of the list, a number of things to discuss this morning as far as Tesla's earnings report is concerned. Remember, Robotaxi being unveiled coming up October 10th. So that was one thing they discussed. Shout out to our friends at Benzinga. You can also go down to the description, get 50% off Benzinga Pro as well. Mixed Q2 earnings across the board, margins downside, forecast not good either here.
No, it wasn't. Look, they beat on the top line, but they missed on the bottom line as a result of the cuts. So their margins really being eaten into here. Revenue was $25.5 billion. The expectation was 24.75. Revenue was up 2% year over year, but that's quite anemic growth compared to what they did before. Net income, though, this was really what caught my attention. 45% down year over year. It's not a good look. Deliveries were better than expected, but also down year over year. And the Robotaxi now being kicked down the can from August to October, Brendo. And they also made different comments about FSD rolling out in China. Apparently, they're getting licensed to do that as well, and it's going to be in many cities. And Chinese sales count for 22% of the revenue.
Yeah, I saw that this morning. I thought that was kind of high as well. This note, interesting as well, coming out saying they want profitability for the Cybertruck by the end of 2024. It seems quick.
Yeah, profitability for the Cybertruck. Okay, I mean, I feel like that's end of 2024. Right, that's good. I'm just trying to edit some of these wicks out right here, right now. So do you want to? Oh, you have a better chart up, Obi. Why don't you take this one?
No, didn't they say they sold a lot more Cybertrucks than the Ford F-150s?
Yeah, so as far as EVs are concerned, they sold the most amount of EV trucks. So they outsold the Rivian and they outsold the F-150. But not the largest selling EV vehicle, but just the largest truck. All right, Obi, one more second and I'll be done.
No worries. We kind of Tesla. We talked about a little earlier here, kind of breaking below some of these levels here. That 232, I'm finding interesting, and then down here, prior highs there. Not really a support resistance area, as it's only tested once. I like at least 2 tests of a price to be like, all right, that might be something. Something interesting to watch for. That's just a one top there at that 213, but still 10 points of a range there. And yeah, just taking a quick look at Tesla's ATR right here, 12.34, right? 12.34 ATR, and now we're doing over two times the RVOL in the pre-market. So yeah, we can maybe look for a potential move of multiples of ATR if we continue to do significant relative volume here on the day. Yeah, 12 points to the upside would mean in the 230s, 240s, 12 points to the downside. Definitely these 210s coming into play here that we can easily kind of go both ways here up into this prior support, potentially turning into resistance at 240 and coming down as well. But yeah, didn't really do too well on in terms of their EPS there. But yeah, their revenue, they did report higher than expected. Should be interesting. You got some of these pre-market levels here on watch. We've been in a downtrend in the pre-market here. Let's go down to a 3-minute. I like to kind of do some charting as like moving down the frames, going from sometimes even weekly, daily, hourly to the minute charts here. So let's see what we can kind of find here on Tesla. A bit of a downtrend here post in the pre-market. Some of these anchors are coming in as well. I think this green one right here is prior earnings anchored as well. So we can go back to a higher time frame and just make sure that that's the case. I'm just going to go to a 3-hour real quick here and see which one that is. Okay, you know what? Was this earnings? No, that was not earnings. Yes. Okay, so we got some earnings here. So that's the earnings anchored right here. This blue one. All right, so the blue one still got ways to go to get all the way back down. So like I'm saying, if we do multiples of ATR to the downside, that anchored is sitting here at 203s. And you can see that that's kind of confluencing with around the area where we accelerated and broke out of this bigger picture trend line we've been talking about here on Tesla. So if we come back in, I think we've got a lot of space to go, even back down through that 200 after an attempt at 271. So it should be interesting, but pre-market levels, I think, take a little bit of precedent here for the intraday trade. That's what I will be watching, and we'll see how it goes off of that. If I can go back down to the 3-minute right there, so that's kind of what I'm pointing out. We already started breaking out of some of this trend in the pre-market, but you can see that after hours here, significant area hit around 233, where we attempted to bounce, broke back down below. Now we're trading below that 233. Also an interesting level for me as well, 230 as well. This consolidation on the way down. So those are the prices I'll be watching on Tesla. Not necessarily my top name. I got Google on watch as well, but that's what I got on Tesla right now. 224 pre-market lows as well.
Yeah, I was going to say here, so I did a little bit of work there as well here. I dropped an anchored VWAP right at yesterday's close. So yesterday's close, we had Brian Shannon on the show yesterday. The creator, I guess, made it popular for sure. The anchored VWAP, we talked about that with him all the time. That right now, if you're just going to use yesterday, use all the volume that we've had so far, 235.30, 235.50. So if you're looking for a spot there, that could be something coming into play. We could drop some more once we start to open up, and we'll take the volume maybe from the open once that gets going. But there we go, man. 235.50 for the anchor on Tesla could be something as well. I like the fact that we just got that bottom. We talked about it on our sticky note that we wanted to take a pre-market bottom break. Well, I mean, right now, that's going to have to come back in again, and it just made it look way better. Like the fact that we just got 224 bouncing again, I think that's awesome. Like now, if we break it, then you're going to be trapping people that are also long down here in the pre-market. So, yeah, I am pretty negative on this name here today. I mean, down 8% is kind of what's expected. Generally speaking, I don't like to trade names that either meet expectation on the volatility to a dramatic stand. Like it might just hover around here. So let's wait to see if that still stays true. But again, you have a lot of opportunities today. This could be a great long down here at 224 as well, right? Then we talked about where that anchored VWAP is up here at 235 and change. Maybe that comes into play. That's also where we dip bought yesterday after the close at 620, at 420, yeah, 1620, right there. So good little level there and a good little level upside. So upside and then downside down here to 224. So I think Tesla's I think it's in trouble here today for sure. There's some good shorting opportunities here, but this is a name that you're going to have to let the market open up, Obi, and just give it some time. I don't think we need to step right into it, but if you want to hit that short, 224 may come and never be seen again.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. I think patience is going to be key. Let it print some data, and then we can go off of that structure for some more sound trading. I like that.
To the desk.
The highest volume candle. I was just saying to Sharif here, volume on Tesla actually not that high yesterday, even with the earnings report. Downside move on the daily chart, but you can see down here, not a heck of a lot of volume behind that on the sell side. Yeah, let's talk about Alphabet. Comes down to YouTube. Revenue downside, margins were downside. I mean, I was just trying to find how many times you mentioned AI on the earnings call. I didn't come up with a number, but let's just say it was a lot.
Yeah, I bet, of course. Yeah, Google is, they're known for that. So I'm not going to go into the earnings or the profit or anything like that, but we'll go into the segment performance. Google search did quite well, revenue growth. The specific figure wasn't mentioned in the article that I read, but cloud continues to grow. That's one of the fastest growing sectors. 10.35 billion they printed in revenue. That was above estimates. YouTube ads really largely being suspected as part of the reason it's selling off so aggressively. They printed 8.66 billion in revenue. Compare that to last year at this time, 7.66, so $1 billion higher, but that still missed expectations. Separately here, Google committing $5 billion to Waymo self-driving. The CEO of Waymo basically taking to Twitter, and you're loving this, obviously. I should mention that they now provide 50,000 daily rides to individuals in Phoenix and San Francisco, Brendo, and it's open for everybody now.
The YouTube number is interesting, as you said, $1 billion higher than last year. And we were just talking earlier about the premium side of things, and a lot of people making that switch from the ad-supported version of YouTube to the premium side. It got to a point where it was, it seemed like every minute there was an insert if you were watching on the ad-supported version of YouTube. It just got to a point where there's so many ads. I think we're not alone in making that switch, but that is partially the reason I think there's that jump, a billion higher. If you go back even last year or 2 years, it seemed like there was maybe 1 or 2 inserts throughout a video.
Oh yeah.
Now it's getting to a point where there's 4, 5, 6, or 7. So volume to the upside.
Well, yeah, those ads they're getting a little carried away with the ads. That is for sure, but it's still running, I guess. I mean, the videos are still getting views. I mean, I'm still watching videos. Gotta get that YouTube Premium to kind of block some of those ads out.
I mean, that's the point.
Yeah.
Yeah, just Obi's okay for coffee. All right, so just real quick here on Google. I mean, I don't know, down 4.3%. Again, expected move was 6%. Yeah, it kind of sucks to be down there. I mean, I've talked about that. I thought this was set up real nice, bouncing off the 50 period, heading into earnings. I was looking for us to take out $200 today. Instead, it goes 4 or 5% the other way. And you go to the downside, right? And so from yesterday, 185 down to 173. So 4% up, you're taking out 200. 4% down, you're down here. Into, guess what? Support. I like this, man. I mean, I think Google's working fine. I mean, I've been looking at their numbers. If the only thing we're going to talk about is the largest streaming platform in the world, then yeah, I think that's fine. I'm not, their cloud was real strong. They've talked about that, their AI generation and some of the models that they're trying to build out there for search and for ad sharing and ad revenues and things like that. I like Google here. I think it is a buy. I'll probably buy some, but I like to give it a couple days after earnings, so I think this is a good level. But when you're going to talk about trading right here today, I have to sort of separate my opinion on the stock to maybe potentially what's happening in the stock itself from a long-term side, right? So, I mean, we always like to play fades back to VWAP. So right here, VWAP is 174.50. Again, we could drop that anchor and find where we want to play that. But it's been a pretty smooth little ride right now for Google. It has bounced off of 173 and change. I don't know why. I mean, these levels are all going to be pretty key down here. For me to be able to pick out 50 cents or even $1 worth of space right now seems to be pretty risky. But if this can make a base for us today, I think the long in Google looks, and I'll probably be completely wrong on this one. It'll probably be Tesla that goes up. I think the long on Google is a little safer just because we are underneath sort of the expected move. So let's just see a little bit of less volatility on this name here today. If we're just going to bash it because of YouTube, I feel like that's fine. They're going to be able to figure that out. Like we mentioned, more signups for YouTube Premium. And just to get that all figured out, whether or not they do a different ad revenue for YouTube so they're not showing as many ads. I don't know exactly what the plan's going to be, but I know that there's a lot of smart guys looking at this. Sundar Pichai is not going to let this quarter continue to sink the ship for Google. Down 4%. I feel like it's a healthy retrace, but it kind of reminds me of Amazon a little bit, Obi, where Amazon got up to 200 and then just really couldn't get going. This name, the same thing, got to this 190, banged its head around it, tried to get down, get back up, tried again, and then earnings. So I think we're just going to have to let Google settle down. I was back here a couple quarters ago where Google missed and they were down 10%. You know, these moves can happen. That was back down when it was at 120 bucks. You know, it ripped to 190. I think you stay long these names. I like this better than the NASDAQ itself. So if you're worried about the NASDAQ going down more, I would be buying Google on any kind of severe dip.
Yeah, no, I think something interesting to note here, and I'm just looking at a higher time frame chart here, the 3 hour, just going back and looking at what price action did post earnings over the past, I guess, year or two there, 2023. You can see again, first earnings report of the year sold off. Second one bid up after that. Second one bid up after that. So sold off again pretty aggressively, and we bid up again. So it's like it's been a little bit even on both sides. But take a look at the bigger time frame. Like this trend has been only to the upside. Whether we sell off or we get bid right back up, there's a bigger picture trend on Google that's been happening over the past couple years here. Now again, very reflective of the NASDAQ. If you take a look at that, we know that tech names have been leading over the past couple of years there, and Google definitely is showing up within that trend as well. So something interesting to note here, I do have some anchors from prior earnings right here from April. Now you can see that we've done only but held above these anchors here. I got some other ones from some couple of events, but this lowest one is the one I'm interested in, as we are coming right into that level and kind of trading below it. So that 175, also a nice psychological level that I do like. I like quarters. 175 is definitely a quarter, and we're trading below that at 174. So going to a shorter time frame here in the 15-minute, it's right there. So 175.26, you can see it right there. And on the earnings reaction, we pinged right into that level and got bid right back up. So it tells me that there was definitely some interest already kind of seated there as that earnings report comes out, and then a bit of an aggressive action off of that. Now we're trading below that in a steady downtrend. I'm definitely going to be watching the tape to see what 175 does. You can see that the relative volume and a little bit of the volume is also expanding going into the close as we're selling off. So another interesting look. And again, looking a little bit further left, going back up to the hourly, I do like this whole consolidation chop that we had, and we're holding some of these lows here as well. So again, keeping in mind that Google has been in a relatively strong uptrend on the bigger time frame, I'm going to be watching for some of these supports to see if they actually come in. If the bigger picture long-term bid is real, where will it catch after we've sold off of earnings? I think we got some space to go to the downside if we do decide to fall further. But again, I think the biggest focus of mine is that 175 earnings prior earnings anchored as well. So I'm also going to put on an anchored off of today's earnings as well. So right here, boom, that's all the way up at 179.
Yeah, so I just wanted to show you the same kind of thing that what we just did right there as well. So I did that same anchor off the earnings, and then I actually just dropped one here because I just wanted to confirm it with Obi as well. I put one from 4 o'clock this morning, just when this chart sort of started. We got some good volume and some good movements here. That confirms that 175. So there are some movements there, 50 period and an anchored VWAP off of this morning's movement to 175. So yeah. I mean, again, another great look. Thanks for going over some of the longer time frames there, Obi. And we've just to show you on a daily chart that Obi was showing, it's like this has been down here before and held. So maybe this is. I mean, like I said, I think this is a good buying opportunity. But what does the first hour tell us will be in the cards for Google. So for me, I think we got to look short early on both Google and Tesla, but definitely understand that, hey, this market, just got kicked and tried to bounce a little bit here. So we'll see if it can continue upside. Obviously, Rivian will probably lead the market one way or the other today.
Now, anyway, still negative to the tune of about 4%, but holding on to that low from yesterday out of the gate. We had that huge flush downside. There it is. Huge flush down to 1650. We're trying to bounce right now. Yeah, Rivian going to be in a courtroom today defending this case against Tesla's accusations, essentially, of trying to poach workers and having them spill the beans a little bit on the way to Rivian.
Yeah, it's important to tell you guys that Rivian's denied this. They said they've investigated those employees that were apparently poached and brought in trade secrets with them. Their investigators netted nothing. The judge disagreed with that. Theodore Zahner basically denied their motion to dismiss. Tesla had enough evidence to proceed to trial, and the first hearing of that is today. So more to come on this, and hang out with us. As soon as we get more information, we'll let you know.
Yeah, still up nicely on the month. Coming, what is that, June? I guess we had that, end of June, we had that huge move up to 18, so holding the bottom end here.
I just want to show, and again, thank you for the chat and all everyone that's participating in here. Jay Lee says, yeah, yesterday, Sean, your intel was correct, 3250 now, and starting to go lower. And I mean, yeah, it's not, we're making calls here on the show, and Jay Lee, you know this, you've been watching the show for a while, and thank you for bringing that up. It's like we were, yesterday on Intel, we were short, Obi. We were short all up here, man, 33.20. We wrote it down on the note. We had it back and back. Thank you, Adara. We had this up and down on our sticky note the last couple of days as shorts, and now you've broken below. So, yeah, now you got to look short here, 32.75, 32.80 for Intel as we continue to break lower. I will always trade NVIDIA over Intel, but we did put some damage on the board yesterday for Intel, and thanks for bringing it up, Jay Lee. I mean, it's just a matter of, this was a Trump stock, and now it's looking more and more like Kamala might. And again, today, President Biden will be addressing the nation. And you know what's being covered on every single major news broadcast around? And Trump is upset because it is basically a fully paid promotion for Kamala Harris. And he has to pay to get this kind of coverage. And right now, Joe Biden's going to be saying, I'm stepping down. He's going to go over everything that he did well and then just push it to Kamala. So I did want to watch DJT today as well. But the reason why this came up to my mind was as, more and more talk about this race maybe becoming closer than it was last week, Intel was a Make America Great Again stock. And right now, it is to the downside. What is trying to make Georgia great again, and I know Rivian opened up a plant there in Georgia, is Rivian. And Rivian, again, American-produced cars on soil there. We'll see if this can continue to work to the upside. I don't think it will. It has bounced nicely off that bottom. We talked about a break of 1640. And again, this is on your note today for Rivian and on the watch list. Make sure you go check both those. 200 periods right here at 17. I like that bottom. I'm already waiting to short that. If we get a pop up into there, I'll take it. The reason why, again, not just that courtroom stealing employees' ideas. That happens all over the place. Welcome to Silicon Valley, really, although this is Rivian. It's more because we have Tesla to the downside. And although Tesla's bouncing back nicely, man, it was down 9%. If there's sort of sharks in the EV water, then I think Rivian is prime bait. So let's just wait to see what winds up happening here. We already looked at the daily breaking the 1640, what I think could happen if that happens, down to 15, down to 14. So yeah, I mean, this might be another one of those names, Jay Lee, that we look back at and I'm like, oh man, yesterday we were short Rivian at $17 and today it's at 14. So let's wait to see what happens with Rivian. I like the stock short.
Yeah, I think a bit of a downtrend kind of showing itself there. We attempt to push 19s on what is this end of July here, June 26th. I don't think that was earnings. It was definitely some sort of catalyst, maybe some deliveries. I got to go back and check, but did definitely have an anchor that came off of that. And take a look at this. We've been holding above, making lower lows and lower highs, kind of coming right back in. So again, with Tesla kind of selling off today, I'm curious to know whether or not Rivian will be able to sustain some of these levels here, right here, 1635. Prior day low, 1656, right? 1656, 1655, it would seem. So, okay, yeah, so we've been making lower highs, attempting to push highs, but every time it does, it makes a lower high and then sells right back off. And let's see if this Tesla tailwind will do any damage to Rivian to the downside here, as it is doing a little bit of a pullback, still within a bigger picture uptrend, it would seem, since prior earnings. So should be interesting look today.
NVIDIA trying to hold on to some key levels here this morning, but we're right back down. Like 119 was, if you go back to the end of last week, was a bit of a pivot for 3 days in a row here. Below 120 though, which held initially this morning and after the close yesterday, but the sellers are back here, it would appear, for NVIDIA today.
Yeah, I mean, there's really no specific headline for NVIDIA, but there was this kind of mention by Elon yesterday on the call about his graphics processing unit called Dojo, the Dojo supercomputer. He's looking to double down on that. Apparently that has video processing and recognition capabilities for computer vision. Obviously, really, nothing really concrete here that we've seen like NVIDIA's GPUs, but that's really the only thing I could find.
Yeah, I mean, there was a note on Samsung as well. They're only going to use the HBM3 from Samsung in their H20 that's specifically made for the Chinese market. So, I mean, that's more of a Samsung story than an NVIDIA story. But, yeah, semi's under pressure here.
NVIDIA coming into some of its support that we've been seeing post-split, right? So this was split when? On June 10th. So just prior month, beginning of the prior month right there. But something interesting to note, again, pulling up the anchored from prior earnings right here. So you can see that the bid has held quite well. Every time we get into that volume weighted average from prior earnings, we've been catching a bid. So it seems like longs have been definitely on the right side of the move, even with these extensions that we've been having. So every time, but here's the thing though, as of the past couple of weeks, mid-July, we've been consolidating right on top of that earnings and also kind of teetering on these prior support levels. Now with chips taking a little bit of a pullback, we had a 141 high, made a lower high at 136s, 137s, and then now we're coming right back into this consolidation area on top of this anchored view up. So it should be interesting to see whether or not this holds. This is some defined levels right here at that 116, some nice little bid that caught earlier at that 115 as well. If we can get down to some of those levels, I'm going to be asking the question of whether or not that bid is still there. A little bit of support, resistance, confluence here at that 115. You can see that nice little shelf. We break out of it, we accelerate, we extend, and then you come right back down, and that is where it catches a bid once again to go sideways. So that 115 should be interesting if and when that does come in. Trading at 119 right now, only about 4 points away from that. But before that even, I'm looking at more recent supports here from prior week, just shy of that 117 level, 124 highs prior day there as well. What's up, Brendo?
Real quick, guys, AMC re-releasing, it would look like a forecast here for Q2. So AMC halted, news pending, revised numbers coming out for AMC. There's still a few coming through here, but are you seeing that? Yeah.
Yeah, total revenues for the quarter, which ended this year, ended June 30th, approximately $1 billion compared to the 1.3 for the quarter that ended June of 2023. So a significant drop there. A net loss for the quarter, which ended this, obviously June, $32.8 million compared to net earnings. They earned $8.6 million the year prior. So it looks like a bit of a tougher look here, but it's up about 0.5%. Halted though, Brendo.
Yeah, a bit of an update here as well. Movies going into theaters again seem to be on the upwards trajectory. So still more coming out here, guys, but an update from AMC right now.
Yeah, well, it is halted right now, so we'll find out where and when that opens up. And it's, news pending, news is out. So we'll wait. Normally it's 10 minutes on a news pending. We'll wait to see when that opens up. It could open up immediately as well. So that's AMC, and yeah. We got to go over there and pay for shorts, I guess, now on that name, as it seems like it might be dancing now. Yeah, look, NVIDIA, we wrote this down. It was going to be a big name for us here today. Breaking through that 120 level. We just did it. We only have a minute left right now before we go. So we're not even going to get to Apple. So get ready to get over there, Adara, and ring that bell. But yeah, AMC right now coming through. There's NVIDIA with a little bit of a sell. So I think the same thing as you. Let's just wait, see what happens here off open. We have that 121 pre-market high. We'll see if we can get back up there. If we fail, we fail. Other than that, we'll go for some AMC, or some NVIDIA today. Back up to VWAP looks pretty good for me to 120. We know there's going to be a bid here. I said before, maybe this 118 is going to be something to look at. Definitely don't want to stand in the way, but it is NVIDIA right now. Downside with only a couple seconds to go. We have 15 seconds now. We'll get to Apple. I really like Apple. I do like the long down there around 222 there for Apple with less than 10 seconds to go right now. Amazon, NVIDIA, we've got Intel on our mind, Tesla on our mind. Should be lots of fun. Here we go. All right, let's do this. All right, so here comes Tesla right now. We liked the 224 break. Will that come into play? It looks like it might. But again, be careful with any kind of play here for Tesla. It does get very, very volatile very, very early. So there's that bounce right down into 224 again on Tesla and a complete stop and go from that level. So looks like it wants to hold it. There's Tesla right now dancing around 225. I'm going to take a break of 224 if it goes. Google, though, making that move lower here. Obi, this name is the one that's getting hit, not Tesla. But Tesla's coming in. I'm going to take a 224 break on Tesla, I believe.
Yeah, Tesla is still kind of holding, testing, just coming into that pre-market low here, 224s. I'm watching the Goggle as well. Goggle's been in a bit of a downtrend since the pre-market session there, and I'm looking for that 174, 175 area just to see if that'll come in. 172.49 lows as of right now. Tesla is dancing around. Yeah, Tesla's really kind of just testing that pre-market low right there as of right now. Pre-market lows right now at 224.07s, trading at 224.40. So I'm going to be a little bit patient. I'm going to wait for setups to kind of set up for me and see if there's anything there, right? If the trade is definitely there, what I've learned as of recent is having the patience to kind of wait for the setup. You don't have to be the first to the party, but definitely do want to still end up attending the party. What's going on, Sean?
All right, we got some here. We did not get a full fill. We did not get a full fill, but I wish we had. As there goes Tesla, it is instantly dollars in the money right now. We shorted that 224 area. We talked about wanting that area short. We shorted it. We got about half the shares we wanted, but there it is. It's now $1 and change. Let's see if we can get lower. Get the heck down right there as there goes Tesla breaking into 222. We have this short right there. Obi, I mean... All right, it's a nice move down. I wish we had gotten our full trade. We didn't. All right, that's okay. Nice move down in here. We got about half of what we wanted. It's a move for Tesla. Will we find a bid here? I don't know, but we're starting to get something out as it looks like 222 and change wants to hold. So we'll put a bid out here at 222.50 there for Tesla. But this is the trade that we wanted. We did take some out there at 223. Watch out. Early flush could be coming back in. Let's take some more out there at 75. That's it. It's a starter right there. It's a money dropper. It's a nice move down. Oh, yeah. There it is. Daily gold met at 932.
Wow, nice. That's awesome. Nice little scalp to start off the day. That's pretty solid. I'm watching Goggle a little bit closer here than Tesla. I want to wait for Tesla to kind of print some more information, print some more structure, so I can go off of that. But that pre-market low breakdown that came in real hot, testing 221.60s as of right now. Goggle can't really get past that 174, just teetering around this 173 as of right now. So again, I'm just gonna be a little patient and come right back at it if and when it kind of shows me what I'm looking for here. A little bit of dip down. If we can create some sort of base here, I'm looking for that. But you can see that it's kind of holding trend to the downside since a pre-market action there as well on Goggle. So again, I like the short idea if we can kind of pop back in and fail some of these levels from earlier. That 175 we talked about. Definitely not even close, running away from that 172.40s as of right now, and the NASDAQ is coming into that 19,600. So definitely some market tailwind to help out with these shorts. I see that you are still short there, Sean.
Oh yeah.
I got to check on some of these names that also reported earnings. We can see that Visa was on watch, so was AT&T, and then we got some day two plays as well. UPS was quite aggressive off of the open yesterday as well. Let's see what UPS is up to right now. UPS, a little bit of sell-off off of the open there. Let's check
Apple's coming in.
AT&T. AT&T holding some of these levels. You're saying Apple's coming in. What's Apple up to?
Apple's coming into 222 and change. Sorry, 223 and change. We're looking for 222. This is a big one, man. Now it's $2. Almost, it was $3 in the money. We just bounced off 221 again, right here for this name. I'm going to take a piece out at 221. I mean, a $3 win, we got to take it. We did not get our full amount of shares there, but we got enough to do it. So we are really, really happy with this one trade. And we always talk about this, man, one good trade, right, Obi? And that's sometimes all that it takes. And you never know when that's going to happen. This one happened early. We told you our order was in for that trade, so it's in for that trade. Now let's wait to see what happens with Tesla. Just bounced there off 221.50. That was interesting. They kind of stacked a bid. Darn it. I saw that live. They kind of stacked a bid there at 221.50. Somebody came in there, probably, I know who it is. Somebody came in there, I think, and just stood in front of that 221.50 area. Honestly, saw it. It stacked it up. I hadn't seen anything do that on the bid until then, and then it just ripped up $1. We could be getting a little bit of a market buy situation happening right now on Tesla. We have about a third left, maybe a little bit less. Again, I got odd fill, so we have about a third left of what I can remember we had. So, we're out. We got about a third out right here, and then we managed to get another third out working into this area, 222, 222.50. So instantly about $1, even a little bit more, then about $1.50, and then at the very bottom, 221.80 is our best fill. So let's see if we can get a little bit lower right now, Obi, on this name. But as I've been talking about Tesla, I've been missing the boat on NVIDIA. NVIDIA went right to 120, which was that level that we talked about that we wanted, Obi. So there goes NVIDIA to the downside. Gave us that trade, but again, focused. And I'm fine where we focused because we focused on Tesla, but definitely a missed opportunity there on NVIDIA. Now down 3 and change. NVDA looks to be going lower.
Yeah, it seems like, definitely that 19.6 crack through. So I'm sure some of these market leaders are definitely tanking here. Let me pull up. Yeah, NVIDIA to the downside. I guess Alphabet to the downside. Apple to the downside as well. What is Softy up to? Softy still within its opening range. Amazon as well, kind of coming into lower prices there. Bit of a bounce here happening on both the Tesla and the Goggle. I like that. That 173 potentially coming right back in with that bounce coming in, but the market is fading. And something interesting, Goggle is holding 172 halves while the market is starting to sell off. So question becomes, if and when that market picks up on the bid, will the bid also pick up on Goggle? I will definitely be watching for that to potentially happen. 19.5s we are testing into 19.570s incoming right here on the DAC, and Google seemingly catching a little bit of a bid, holding that 172 halves right now. So I like that.
We just had a pretty decent trade on there, and I didn't get anything out. We're now short. We're short here. AMD. My bad. I was looking at Rivian right there. The hell, man, I don't even have any hair, and the flies are still bugging me. All right, let's go to the downside right now, 152. So we're short right here off the 200-period moving average. Again, we pick on AMD because NVIDIA is too far gone for me right now. And this has been This has been a stronger name than NVIDIA today, which doesn't make too much sense to me. But it doesn't have to, because right there we go short on this name again. And now that's another 50 cents in the money. We're short right now on AMD at 152. 30s, advanced micro devices. We're going to go 2 for 2, pretty huge right there from Tesla. But as you mentioned, Tesla has made a dance back upside right now. I'm still going to stay short. I don't think the AMD story is done. I was going to wait for 153 and average some more if we get up to VWAP. But right there, right now, we've just taken out 25% of our AMD as it just pulls right. I mean, if we're going to go 200 to the 50 period, I mean, come on. This is exactly, I told you, I don't journal, but I look at this for long enough to know the numbers, know what levels we're looking at. And if AMD can get back to the 50 period, which it's doing, we are taking some out. Look at the futures, just, oh man, just makes you want to cringe a little bit, because that is going to be down 2% here in the first 10 minutes for this name, the NASDAQ going to the downside. And Okay, we missed this one, and it's a good thing we did. It just ran over 222 right there, Apple. So again, you see, this is the thing. Okay, now we're getting going again on AMD, Obi, as we start to get to the downside now on AMD. We just take a nice fill there into the 66s. I mean, it's back-to-back jacks right now, man. It's Tesla dollar. It's AMD 70 cents. It's the only two trades we have on board right now. Obi, what are you? Okay, here we go. This is going to be $1 on AMD in a minute. Is there anything that's getting close for you?
Yeah, I guess, again, the goggle coming up into that VWAP area. VWAP sitting at 173 halves. This is trading at 173. So again, we observed that 172 half bid was holding while the market is flushing. So it's definitely showing some strength that buyers might be in charge there. And then 173 halves is VWAP, and we are pushing. There it goes, ripping 173.20s there, ripping another 10 pennies right up into VWAP. So let's see what we do in and around VWAP. There it is, some buying. There's some strength there. 173.30s. Can you print about 20 pennies more? Like I said again, can you hold the quarter and print the half? As of right now, it's holding the quarter right now, 173.25s on goggle. We've been in a downtrend since the pre-market. Are VWAP sellers going to show up is the question that I'm asking. Here's 173.40s, 173.50. So here's VWAP right here. Let's see what we do. Is there any significant selling pressure? Are we going to get bought back up? I like that 175, 173.60s coming in now. So we are pushing just slightly above that VWAP. What was that opening high right there before the open? That's 174. Let's see if we can print the 75s there. Oh boy, that long off that 172 hold was definitely quite nice. But that's not really the way I am looking right now on the goggles. Let's see if some of this trend from the pre-market holds. If not, I will definitely be looking to switch over some of my bias there on the goggles, but right back down into VWAP here. So maybe a decision potentially to be made underneath this 174 here. As the market continues to fade, Sean, Google is showing some strength, printing right back up into the 70s. So that 174 looks like it's on the horizon. 173.90s coming right back in.
Exactly.
Oh boy, that was a little bit of a dip buy on the goggle. 174's testing now. When will it slow down? This bid is extremely aggressive. I don't want to chase. I do want to do a little bit of reversion, though.
All right. I mean, you revert. We are doing trend trading today. Shout out to my guy Yannick in the back there. And I was just like, you know what? Hey, let's put another $1 on the board. We're going to go 2 for 2 today. It's Tesla, $2.50 in the money. That's trade one. Our second trade is AMD, which is $1 in the money that we just took. It's going to be 2 for 2. It's going to be big days. We're breaking the system over there now. It's going to be big days here. And I just hope that you guys are also enabled to enjoy some of this downside push. Doesn't mean it's going to happen forever. I did like some Apple down there, and we did talk about it as well. And I was sort of saying it as Obi was talking. Bank of Canada interest rate decision coming up in 2 minutes. Let's refinance that mortgage, baby. Let's get another downside move right there. No, Canada sucks, okay? Apple right now, a nice little move back in. We're going to see if we are basing out right now at that 221.50. Is the NASDAQ had enough pain today, downside right there. And what I was saying that I was like, oh man, we're really happy with what just happened there is because we mentioned today that we like the short in Tesla, and there goes Tesla down to day's low, breaking through 221 right now. We said we like the long in Google, we like the short in Tesla, and there goes Tesla right now. It is a $3 winner right now. We are looking to get reloaded. It's $1 on AMD. It's $3 on Tesla. We love it when Obi's here. We love it when Neil's here, but it's a Dara at the desk.
Keep an eye on Pieris Pharmaceuticals here, PIRS. This one up over 100% right now, announcing along with Palvella Therapeutics that the two companies are going to merge to work on novel skin disease therapy development. Worth noting as well, PIRS does have a float of about 1.2 million shares, so smaller float for Pieris, guys.
All right, thank you.
I'm looking to make a trade on Apple, I think.
All right, so what's going on with Apple? We know the market's still tanking here. It's still kind of flushing to the downside.
Wow, Tesla's taking 220. Would you want to go? Are we smashing that, Obi?
220? I mean, I don't know. I don't see any.
It's now down 10%. You could get that SSR bounce.
Yeah, it's
now on
SSR,
Tesla. So we will not be able to punch 220. What am I even talking about?
Yeah,
So you
gotta
will not
get in earlier.
Yeah, you gotta. Yeah. Get it while you can. Right now, these short, and oh my, we just got 151s right now on AMD. Is this bizarro world here or what? Like the month this is turning out to be here has been something else. And we're just getting started. I mean, we're not getting started on the month. The month's almost over. But wow, we are feeling the trading of this last couple weeks. Now heading into earnings season. I don't normally trade earnings plays, but that Tesla was a pretty juicy one. Just to let everybody know, man, 15% left of Tesla. It came down to that 222. Let's just try to hold it. I wish we had gotten our full piece there, which, I mean, our net would just be double where it is now, which is still good, but I can't. It's the trade. It's the trade execution. And I've been doing some thinking. That's why I'm trying to change the way I talk about this. It doesn't, the share size, the net, whatever, all of that does not matter, okay? What matters is you put on the winning trades, you explain the winning trades, and you are able to execute against your plan and prove to everybody and to yourself, because Obi and I can see what's happening. We can see our own nets. Look at what you're doing. Look at what you're putting up. Are you putting up results or not? Look what Tesla's doing right now. Look at this. This is like it's halted right now. We have offers, bids not hitting each other. Like this is unbelievable action right now live on Tesla. You just had a huge buyer right there get taken out. Ciao. Pat, this is now $5 in the money now on this Tesla short. So here we go. It's starting to make some sense now and some dollars. Adara, what did Canada just do?
Canada just had a rate cut here, so 4.5% from 4.75% previously. This is in line with expectations. We also got some numbers, though, coming out of the U.S. to go over. S&P Global PMI Flash numbers. Composite PMI Flash 55, so slightly higher than the forecast here, 54.7, the previous at 54.8. S&P Global Manufacturing PMI Flash lower here than the expectations, 49.5 versus consensus 51.7 and the forecast of 51.8. We also had Global Services PMI Flash, this one higher than expected, 56 compared to the estimate of 55. So S&P popping up a little bit on this, still down more than 1% in the day. At 10 a.m., we'll get some more numbers, guys.
We just took some Tesla out at $219.50 for $4.40. But the thing is like there's reasons why we're putting out the sticky note every day, and it's just like it's going to work. It's not going to work. But I mean, right here, look what I wrote for Tesla. Take the pre-market low break, and at that time it was 224.50. It was 224. Could lead to a flush. I mean, I don't. For us on that one, that was a pretty much the trade that we needed, and that's it. So, we've done good right there, and we just took a piece out. We now have 5% left of Tesla. We had 15%. We talked about that, and again, that's what I'm trying to do, is trying to show you guys what we're looking for, what kind of. I mean, here it comes right back in. If you want to get the out now, you can. We're going to hold a little small piece here, and it's too small, unfortunately, but we're going to wait to see now what happens. And then look at that. We also come right back into pre-market lows for AMD, and we are getting out of that one. We still have about 15 to 20% left of this AMD trade, but again, right into pre-market lows. We got to know who we are and how we're trading. And again, I feel like that's something that's very, very important. Stick with the guns, stick with what you're trading, stick with what you know, and I think that that's going to be the best bet net here. So I'm actually feeling a little bit of ways about this AMD. I'm going to be looking back. If I look at Apple right now and it's screaming to the high side, I'm going to be upset because I didn't put anything on, and it's not. So there you go. So I just learning lessons here, because I just looked back expecting Apple to be up, and it's getting killed to the downside. Worse, right? Like I was thinking 221.50 right there on the buy. So now you're down about $1. You're down about 75 cents from that. Stay with that trend, man. I mean, right now you're going to the downside. There's no doubt about that. Here's the NASDAQ 1 minute. You're trying to bounce a little bit, but until we get some straight confirmation, I don't know if this is going to be that right level. Maybe a break here of 19,560, which is trying to do right now on the futures, could be a play. We can go over there to the TQQ, see if we can get this bounce off, but this is not how I've been making all the money in my account these days. Has not been trying to catch these bottoms or anything like that. It's letting key levels get hit and then waiting for it and then reacting off of that. So maybe we are getting something right now. Potentially a break here of 69.40 on these TQs could be something. I mean, you might want to give it even up to here, 69.60. But for right now, it looks like we may want to come back into 69 or so for the NASDAQ. So it looks like it's failing at 19,560 again, trying to make a move back down. So, and by the way, like Tesla's now just in free fall mode. We talked about could flush off 224, could flush. I mean, right now you're down another 3% from this level. We were down 8, now you're down 11 and change and starting to get lower and lower. And I just feel silly because I turned today and was like, I want to sell all my Tesla. But there it is, a nice downside move, lose a couple percent, but make a little bit here on the show. So far, so good. AMD, that was a good out, I guess, at the 50-period moving average. We now do have that 10% left of AMD. So 5 or so of Tesla, 10 on AMD, and yeah, we continue to go, and you're in that Google, my guy.
Yeah, so Google's came into that 175. Again, I did get involved a little too early here, but that 175 was what I'm waiting for. And that 175, a little bit of strong action here. Tape definitely getting a little aggressive as, again, buyers and sellers are pushing each other around a little bit here, right into that 175 test. I like that. Let's see, VWAP down at 173.70, and these are some of the pre-market levels as well. You look back at it, pre-market levels at 175, just above that, some consolidations, and we've been downtrending in and around that. And we talked about that anchored as well, being right at that 175 area. So yeah, I like the area, give or take a point or so. Like you can see, the selling when it comes in, it just dropped down over 60 pennies off of that 75 in the blink of an eye there. And yeah, very, very aggressive kind of action at that 175. Was it a little expected? I think that again, being an anchored from prior earnings there, definitely some interesting stuff happening at that 175 level. I like it as a psychological area as well. And did I get involved a little too early? 100% I did, but definitely don't have everything, all the inventory that I want for this trade just yet. So I am trying to be a little bit better with getting in on the right side of the V, as per se, on some of these trades here. What's going on, Adara?
This part of the show is brought to you by Benzinga Pro. Are you tired of being late to the market or late to the trade, always playing catch up in the market, missing out on the big moves because you're too slow to the news? Benzinga Pro is your unfair advantage. Get breaking news alerts up to 30 minutes before everyone else. Pinpoint exactly why stocks are moving and join a thriving community of traders who share their strategies in real time. Ready to see how Benzinga Pro can transform your trading? Visit benzinga.com/pro and get a free 14-day trial.
Free sounds good to me. All right, so yeah, definitely Benzinga. I mean, we talked about Benzinga over and over again. I mean, we looked at it today for the earnings. We looked at it for Ulta Beauty. We get the news in our ear, so it's very, very important to have a platform like that. Okay, we have a new position right now, and it is going to be Apple. Let's see if it can go. I just looking at this level, I liked the long earlier, but the thing is, remember why we liked the long? It was only down 0.5%, and the market was down 1.5%. So I was like, Apple's 3 times better than that. But right now, is it? So let's wait to see. Okay, getting a little bit of a confirmation bump right now for Apple. So here we go, man. We're long at 221.03. And there's 30 cents, guys. There's 30 cents out of nowhere for Apple. So we'll just start to layer it up again right now. Here we go again. We have this for Apple. It is going to be a good play. And by the way, Fabian and Ramin and everybody that's looking at Tesla, I know there's a lot of traders out here that have been going short on this name. And I want to say congratulations to you because right now, Obi, this is $6 right now in the money. So there's your chicken dinner winner of the day, I feel like, for me anyways. $6 now as we hold a little piece of Tesla. Always wishing we held more, but you know, in the, wow, you're taking down 218 right now. We do need a call to come in right immediately. Look at this right here. You are breaking lower. It is now $6 in the money goes Tesla, and that is not stopping at all. AMD retraces all the way back to the bottom. That, my friends, is $1. We have $7 in profit sitting in our blotter right now. Plus, we have just a ho-hum. We took one piece out here on Apple. We'll take out another right now at 35s as well. So here goes Apple, man. 30 cents in the money on Apple. Long, 30 cents. Did I say 30 cents? Let's check 50. There goes Apple. Get going, Apple. Come on, man. You know, You know what you want me to buy that flip phone? Come on, son. So here we go. Nice little move up to the upside now for Apple as we try to get going here. So yeah, man. I mean, there we go. We get a 50, Phil. Are we? What is happening right now? This market is just on one, and we're happy to be here as well as the party continues, man. Party on, Wayne. Party on, Obi, as we continue to get going. Oh, Apple right there now, 60 cents in the money. Let's put an offer out and take that. What up, A?
Small cap on watch here, BBLG, Bone Biologics here. This one is up 136% right now on the day. Looks like it is halting. No news on this, but some social media attention, especially in the last few minutes. We also do have a float of just over 1 million shares, market cap of $1.38 million. So smaller market cap and smaller float for BBLG, guys.
Yeah, I was just saying to Obi, the market's going down and Apple's 75 cents in the money on the long. We have one long idea on the sticky note today. It's Apple. Man, I don't know. I'm in the wrong business here. All right, this is a good one. All right, Obi. I talked way too much, man.
Yeah,
but,
no.
I feel pretty.
I'm
proud of it.
staring down this goggle here in and around this 175. Market is kind of weak here, but goggle continues to hold a bit of a strong bid here. Again, holding what is it? The moving average there as well, and holding some of these pre-market levels, but still in and around that 175 area here is slowed down. Like the aggressiveness is definitely slowed down a little bit. Coming into the level here, but oh boy, that Tesla short through that 220, that's coming into 217, eh? So I guess that was definitely a much better place to look for the short there. And you're right, I am fighting a little bit of the trend here on the goggle, as goggle is holding a strong bid as the market continues to kind of look weak here. You can see the ES flushing lower and lower as well, kind of 5,500, coming in only about 25 points away from that area here on the ES, and then NQ as well, that 19,500 potentially knocking on the door, making some fresh lows here. But yeah, some of these other tickers are very strong on the day. You can see that again, Apple selling off quite aggressively here, along with Spider as well. Spider 546 and halves testing as of right now. And yeah, I guess have you been watching oil at all as much? Because I know that CVX has been moving around over the past couple of days there quite aggressively. Oil has been kind of fading. I can see that. Oh boy, AMD, you still in that short?
Yeah, we're still in the AMD short. The AMD short is $2 in the money right now. I mean, we're $8 in the money now on Tesla. We're $2 in the money on AMD. And honestly, I'm trying to, but you keep walking away from your desk, my guy. Sharif's like, leave some money for us. I'm like, hit the keys. I'm giving all of these trades, right? I mean, these are three very simple trades today. It was buy the dip there in Apple. Right? We shorted strength in AMD, breaking the 200 period, breaking this down. I have two executions here, but this is a pretty simple trade and could have been reloaded right there. Tesla, come on. We knew this one was on board all day. I mean, this was going to be the trade of the day. This was your number one trade idea off the sticky note today, right? I mean, that's why I'm saying, like, when we're talking about leave some money on the table, we're literally giving the money, giving the ideas away. I don't know if they're going to be money or not, but there's Tesla, there's NVIDIA, there's Apple long. All three trades are right here. We didn't look at Rivian yet. If I do that, I may have some feels for that. But we can have a quick look over there right now. Apple does make that bounce again. And there goes NVIDIA now, or sorry, NVIDIA. There goes Tesla, 216 right now. So that is now 8. In the money. I'm looking at a 217 breaker, 1.9. My stop on this trade, guys, was crazy. I didn't even have a stop, but it would have been wherever VWAP was at that time, probably 225 and change. right there. So we're probably risking about $1.50 right now to make 8. So decent risk to reward right there. Apple did bounce. Let's take an advantage of that and take it. Ooh, I just offered it and it went down. See, the liquidity's here, but honestly, it's touch and go a little bit on some of these plays. All right, I was going to say, now Tesla's almost $9 in the money. What about just getting out at some point here? I don't really know where to get out on Tesla. I mean, I'm looking at a daily chart. We've obviously broken down 205. Obi and I kind of was like, it's not getting down there. Well, that's only $10 away now and seems a little more realistic than it did a couple minutes ago for Tesla. But right now it is getting killed, down 12.5% and already hit SSR. Those of you that said I'm up 1.8 million, just a little shy of that there in the chat. If I was up 1.8 million, then I would buy Ramin that yacht, but it would be a small one. But it may be like a little bit of a, I mean, are you good with tugboats? Like, I don't know exactly what one point. I just don't know what. I'm not in the boating market. You know, people. I came in. Yeah. Okay, relax. Yeah, fine. I own multiple boats. No, but the idea here is that I came in wearing this linen shirt. We're in some shorts. We're just chilling out today. We were trying to get those good vibes, and apparently we were going to the yacht club. So that's where that joke comes from. But okay, so right now. Generally, I like the 50-period moving average as an out for Tesla. But that is all. Okay, we have numbers. All right, let's go over to Adara with numbers.
No new home sales coming in here, getting 617,000 compared to the expected of 640,000 here, so slightly lower than expected for the new home sales change month over month, negative 0.6%. So that's going to be also lower than the positive 0.4% expected. So again, negative 0.6% new home sales change month over month for June compared to the expectation of a positive 3.4% change. The SPY kind of being a little bit stagnant here around this level, down about 1.3% of the day. Of course, earnings from Google and Tesla both moving this market. But we have some other stories to talk about here as well, including Rivian now down about 7%, almost 8%. Reuters reporting that they're set to face a trial with regards to Tesla trade secrets. Basically, Rivian being accused of having former Tesla employees or asking former Tesla employees to take trade secrets. So RIVN decidedly to the downside here. We also have AT&T. T kind of in a range, but still up almost 4%. They actually missed on earnings per share, missed on revenue, had inline earnings per share, but reported much higher than expected wireless net adds. So good look for T as we head into the rest of the day, guys.
Stab in the heart for Rivian right there. I wrote down, and I don't know. Actually, it shows that I had a failed trigger there at 1637, so I don't know. But there's the trade here on Rivian. We wrote it down, breaking 1640. I mean, if we had that trade right there coming back in, then I don't know, man, maybe defibrillator would have been necessary, but that's a good move there. All right, just quickly, our out on Tesla's 217. That's coming up, man. Nice bounce right there for Tesla. Let's get out if it takes 217. You guys asking me where my out is on NVIDIA. Well, or sorry, on AMD. Might have just given it to us. What about that wick right there at 150, 150.50 for AMD? I'm almost thinking about getting out. We might have had some downside push that just got bought up there by 150s. Its low was 149.80. Would like to see that get taken again, obviously, to hold on to this short. But for right now, Tesla is over. So we'll go props up to that Tesla trade. And there it is. That's our last piece. I mean, let's see. That was a big trade, man. 217.15. We wound up just getting out there on a 224 and change short. So actually, no, 223. 223.87. I don't know what it was. I have to rewind and find out. But 227.87 there. Good out for us on Tesla. So let's see what happens. But good trade right there for us. Now, Apple, however, we do not have a very big piece of Apple as we started to get out, but we still do have a piece. So just like we were wondering about what Tesla was going to do at 220, guess what else is right at 220? Apple. So both of these stocks hanging out right now in this level. I'm thinking about buying some of this here on Apple and not giving it too much lower than where we are right now. A definite missed opportunity there in Rivian. I know you're still dealing with this Google position, but anything to add on that or anything else you're looking at right now?
No, I'm watching. I guess I'm watching this Tesla move here. Finally, maybe potential bid catching off of this 216 area. interesting. I did kind of stop out of that Google short, kind of getting back into it here. But yeah, no, definitely right on the notion of yes, maybe just stick with trading with the trend there. I knew I was kind of fighting it quite aggressively as well. So that 175, we're holding well above that 175 as of right now. 176s came into test there. So I did kind of give it way too wide of a risk there. Got started a point too early there at that before 175. It got started at 174 and kind of hold above 175 half. So not the best decision making on my part there. But the market looking like it's holding that 19 half as of right now. So maybe is Tesla poised for a bit of a bounce here? That's what I'm asking. Google's still holding this bid quite aggressively, quite strong. So I got to keep an eye on this one as well. So nothing else too crazy. Let us know in the chat what you guys are up to, what you guys are trading. We can potentially take a look at those names as well. But Tesla and Google, both earnings day ones, both aggressive action off of the open here, to the upside on Google, to the downside on Tesla. Tesla is the only one that's really kind of reflecting some of the market here as the market flushes even further. We talk about that 21 thou reject. We talk about the 20 thou reject. And I was like, okay, if we pull back in, that 19 halves that can definitely be a potential place to kind of visit, and we're visiting there as of right now here on the NASDAQ. Tesla pulling back into that 216. So let's see. This is the initial this is an attempt at the bounce, I guess. Let's see if it kind of follows through here. We talked about that anchored on Google. The current earnings anchored, I have it right here, kind of sitting at that 176.89. So we've had quite a strong trend up there. VWAP broke at that 173.64, and then kind of we pushed past some of these pre-market levels. But you can see pre-market and after hours, there's still levels here at that 176, 176.80, that 175 area right here where we're trading right now is definitely interesting as well. Let's see what you guys on the chat are talking about. Gold ascending apparently. So I guess, yeah, I know gold has been pushing some levels there over the past couple of days. Are you involved in gold at all?
I've never been involved in gold.
Okay.
That's like a sore spot for me. I never, it's not really because I've never been a fan of it, but yeah, interesting spot there for GLD for sure. GDX as well, a good little gold miner. I prefer like a Barrick gold, like take the companies there. But all right, so we're in Apple. We're long now at 74. We've only made money on this name. We haven't sold any of these longs yet. So we're going to wait. I mean, if it comes up to 221, we'll take that. I'm just playing off this bottom of 225. Sorry, 220.25. So if we break below 30s right now, I'm getting out. I'm not even going to play the low. I'm not going to play, well, here, I put the wrong price. I didn't realize it was 220.30. So, I mean, I did realize that, but I'm going to go to 220.24. If it breaks below the quarter mark, Obi's talked about the quarter mark. I really like the quarter mark as well. So we'll look at that for a possible breakdown, right? So if it hits that, we'll get out. If not, we have a position on to go long right now. AMD is trying to battle back. I've debated putting it out here at 151. I do not have a stop. I have a bid instead to see if we could get something down here for AMD. I am trying to bid this name, but you know what? We already broke 50 and it bounced back. So I'll be okay bidding here. I want to bid 150.10s, see if we get that. If we do, giddy up, we'll take it. Other than that, I'm pretty fine holding it. We only have a small piece, man. It's only 10% on this name. Let's check out what's happening in Metaville right now. As this was getting killed in the pre-market, but it's really done nothing here. I feel like it's kind of like your Google there. I know you're out of it, but this is one that's just kind of been hovering now. Meta, like, I don't know, now trying to gap down, but this is a name that I don't have much interest in this immediately, but there is a possible trade there in Meta breaking high side through 476. I like better because it really hasn't given us that scare yet, Meta. The name that did give us scare downside, and we should have bought this, but instead we sat there now. Apple's 25 cents in the money. We just got to get a piece out there at 221. We're getting close to getting that piece out. NVIDIA gave the best trade of the day, and I feel like we missed it. Well, I feel like the best, I should slow that down. I feel like the best trade of the day was the one that we had on Tesla. But right here, 117.50. Look what this came right in. came right in. So yeah, I mean, we missed that one. We missed that one. And, again, a little bit of FOMO for sure, because that is a level that we had talked about. We actually had NVIDIA written down on here as a short, which it obviously paid out, but then that long. We say this every day, Obi, is that there's always opportunity for everybody in every kind of market, right? Even if it's a slow market, you can still wait for those, levels. Print those levels, wait, be patient. If it's a very aggressive market like we have here today, do stuff like this. Do stuff like this on Tesla, right? Take $8. Now, do you know it's going to go $8? Mirror, mirror on the wall, where does Tesla close after all? We need a new one of these, man. See? Oh, actually, it says don't count on it. I didn't even ask it a realistic question, and it just says don't even count on it. So there you go. Nobody knows where any of these things are going at the end of the day, but, I was just doing that for fun. You got to trade the price action and what you see. And your eyes will often deceive you. That's why you got to base it off of something. We had a pre-market break there in Tesla. We wrote it down. It is the #1 trade there for me today. And you know what else is not too bad right here? Apple. Because there goes Apple right now, another 40 cents. Let's just offer a piece out at 99 again. Come on, EdgeX. There it is. Nice little move through there. Getting us that 221. You might have just heard me say, come on, EdgeX, or something like that. We can choose whatever gateways. I don't even have them all marked on here. There's more than this. I like to look at, there's NASDAQ, BATS, ARCAs are here as well. So take these as different stores. They're called ECNs, or electronic gateways. And some of them are markets themselves as well, like the NASDAQ. But there it is. Yes, sir. Now it's another 70 cents. What is going on? There goes Apple right now. So let me just give you a quick update. We had a great day yesterday. We are up the same now that we were up yesterday at 4 o'clock. So we're pretty happy with some of these performances. Let's get out at 221.40 here on Apple if we can, and then just sit back, relax right now and see where this market goes. People asking about a Tesla reload. Okay, I'm not reloaded, but you could be reloaded. I would always wait for VWAP. We talk about retracements back up to VWAP. I think I have to stay true to the style of trading that I'm doing right now. And again, I looked over, and broker statements are the truth. Your net at the end of the day is the truth. So if you're happy with how you've been trading over the last little while, stay with it. I'm not I got punched out there on purpose. I punched myself out of this 217 because it broke higher. If this continues to go lower, I won't be mad at myself. I got out in a spot that I wanted to, and it did not hit a reload spot for me, which would be 220. So I have to just be happy with what we have right now. And remember, I was just going through my head, what did we want to do on AMD? I canceling this bid. I had a bid right here, 150.20. It was actually 150 teens. We talked about 150 tens. We put it in the teens. That just came in. We could take this out now. But what about a break lower? I mean, this NASDAQ may want to take this level out right here, right now. So I'm going to go over to the TQs. And maybe do you think about playing some momentum to the downside right now? This could be, hey, what's up, Mr. Westermeyer? Member for 18 months. Oh, okay. Well, don't push anything here. We really appreciate it. Talk to the manufacturer. So this is the creator of this. Talk to the manufacturer yesterday. Our new custom 8-ball is shipping to me within 1 week. All right, and then it's coming then. So, all right, thank you so much for that 18-month membership right there. Membership is $5 a month. It just helps support the channel again. So that we talked about YouTube ad revenues and things like that, and showing all those crazy ads. But that's an easy way to do it without any of that. So $5 a month. Thank you for that. I think it's Daniel Westermeyer. All right, so nice move. I'm thinking about breaking this Q short. So for me, I'll probably test this right here. What is this level? 68.53s. I'm gonna take that trade. I'm gonna take that right now on the TQQs.
Yeah, no, this I'm kind of this Google is super strong. I'm done fighting with it here. Aggressive bidding. We came back through that 175. Aggressive bid right back up to 176, and then pulls right back in. So definitely a level of interest on the goggle, right back into 175s. As the NASDAQ breaks below that 19.5, oh boy, here we go. We are pulling back here heavily on the NASDAQ. So what is, so I've got an alert on my SPY as well now. So we are pushing some extension here for sure on the market. So 19.5 coming in, and then that 5,500 also, but we're about to knock on the door of that. Only about 15 points away from that on the ES here. So I'm looking at NVIDIA. NVIDIA is not really pulling back. We're holding 119s as of right now. So what's really pulling back? You may ask. It's Softy. Softy's the one kind of pushing for day lows. So is Apple. Apple's pushing for day lows as well. Alphabet not as much. Clearly, the bid is very, very strong on the day here, holding some of these moving averages here. I got the 8 moving average, so it's holding it quite well. And Amazon's still holding within its opening range there, but nothing too crazy. Let's take a quick look. Let's take a quick run through some of these other earnings names as well here today, other than Tesla and Alphabet. So we know that Visa reported. So let's take a quick look at what Visa's been up to. Visa's kind of in a sideways range here, 253s to 257s. So nothing too crazy as of right now. AT&T right here, sideways chop, nothing too crazy at all. Not really doing too much crazy volume. It is doing relative volume for sure, but take a look at this price compression happening in and around this $19 mark here on AT&T. Earnings day 2, UPS. Let's see if UPS, we know that thing had a strong sell-off off of the open there, and then created a base right on top of that 125 and then pushed higher. We're trading right in and around that 125 as of right now, and just kind of maybe continuing that fade further down. Look at GE now. GE earnings day 2 as well. That was very strong on day 1. We kind of talked about some of these trades. I talked to Sean about this trade earlier, where the pre-market high break was quite nice there, with about some size sitting on that 170 level, and then never really looks back all the way to 177.20s straight up before it tries to revert the trend there on GE. And then now we're kind of pulling back quite aggressively back through that 170, trading at 168 as of right now on GE. Now again, another name, GM. GM reported yesterday as well. Sold off quite aggressively. Dead cat bounce into the end of the day. We're holding high of day right now, just below prior day's consolidation lows. Their prior day's lows right there, just shy of that 46 level. So interesting look here on GM. I think people talking about AMC. Let's take a quick look at AMC. We know that they had some of that pre-market news. What has AMC been up to? AMC selling off aggressively off of the open. $5 breakdown, and then coming right into 460. So a little bit of a continuation move that we've been having since the past couple of days there. A little bit of intraday news, gap up, fade the next day as well, sideways consolidation. Take a look at that bid on Google, man. I'm glad I stopped fighting this thing. Absolutely crazy there. I paid way too much again, I was not good with my risk here. A little bit disgusted with myself for sure on getting so aggressive and giving it such a wide stop on Goggle here on the day. So gonna be patient. Gonna continue watching this. That is some strength there. 176 coming right back in, poised for a potential test of high a day. Again, if the market bounces now and we get some of that tailwind, Google's already strong, showing the bid as the market is selling off quite aggressively as well. So again, the buyer is definitely in control. I do have to do a lot better at respecting that information as of right now. But AMC, oh yeah, LMT, we talk about that one as an earnings day 2. Lockheed Martin having a strong, very, very strong day 1, closing near or at high a day yesterday. And look at that continuation, Sean. We were talking about this 500 level in the pre-market as well, and that 500 just holds and blasts through up into 513s for a continuation push, and then we pull right back into that 500, 501.50s being 502s being the intraday lows here, but we're still holding underneath this 19.5 there, Sean. What is the next trade? That's what I'm asking here. Looking at the spider, looking at Alphabet as well. I don't want to fight this buying pressure just yet. But if we can get weak around that 175, I do want to potentially take it down for a reversion back to VWAP there, if that'll come in. But then again, what do I know? I'm clearly not in the right mindset the way I'm trading this as of right now on Google. So let us know in the chat what you guys have been up to. Havoc saying Netflix going straight up. Let's take a quick look at NFLX here. Wow, okay, yeah, so definitely some strength off of the open there. Bit of a sideways chop over the past couple of days, but this strength is definitely interesting. Look at that expanding volume coming in through some of these breaks. What's prior day high? 650, 649.91 is prior day's high there on Netflix. So that'll come in, again, looking like that'll come in potentially with this expanding volume going into some of those levels, only about 3 or 4 points away from that 650 mark on Netflix, extended above VWAP. So let's see what we got in store on the market. What are you looking at, Sean?
Oh man, we're all right. All right, so we just shorted the TQs. We're shorting the market. You're just looking at the market right there. We're in the market here again, and we're putting hopefully some numbers up as we're now short 65. It's not really going to the downside, so I'm starting just to piece them out. Even though it's only 10:20, we're having a day. So I'm just trying to get some out now, put on our scalp hat. I don't know if this is the bottom or not for the TQs. I mean, you're starting to bounce now. It's a nice little move back up to the upside. So I'm scalping out way more of this than I would have liked. I mean, I was holding this short. I wasn't even getting, I was taking 40s out of these 50s. Like, it was nothing. And then we just right now get a 65 fill. I'm almost out of this. Like, I was going to give this to 75, this sort of top move right there. So if it does break, then we like it back into the downside. Man, we're going to go 4 for 4 today. And it's been pretty good trading. I'm sorry that Obi had lost on that long there for Google, or short, sorry. I was not expecting that kind of strength either. Like this, wild. Straight off, like boom, like that. I did want to buy Google dips. We did talk about that, still down 4%. Maybe we will, maybe we won't get that opportunity. But right now, look what just happened right here as well. Oh man, are we on something today? Answer's no, by the way. But there it comes down to the downside. Just pure passion is what we're on, but we're on that every day. So, but there it goes. AMD right now breaking through 150 and trying to go lower. The TQ's now 18 cents in the money. And then the only long that we have today is actually printing as well, and that's Apple. Oh boy, Obi, this is getting juicy now. To the downside goes the futures, and there it is one more time. A nice little trade there to go short now on the TQs and the NASDAQ. My number one stock of the month are the futures. So happy to be trading that here, and happy to throw it over to Adara at the desk, or at the screen, as it's 10:20.
Lower highs for the IWM, currently down about 0.6% of the day, but it is worth noting the Russell 2000 trying to find some support off of that 220.60 area. We've bounced off of there a couple times now, so definitely the Russell 2000 worth keeping an eye on here with regards to these levels it's holding with these lower highs. Quite a few small caps moving, not with any news, but with some smaller floats and market caps, including DRMA. This one popping up. No news catalyst that I could find, up more than 100%. It does have a market cap here of $900,000, float of about 670,000 shares, so smaller float and market cap for Germana DRMA. We also have here Bone Biologics, BBLG. This one up about 80% right now on the day. Again, no news, but we do have a float of just over 1 million shares for BBLG. Last but not least, Selena Hospitality up more than 100%. This one's actually a penny stock, does have about a $10 million market cap. So SLNA, which has run before, currently up more than 100% on strong increasing volume, guys.
Thank you, Adara.
Apple, so just a quick update there. So we did get some more out on the TQs as we fell back into the 40s. I mean, you guys saw me taking these trades live right there. What a day it has been. Look at these 39s, 40s actually. Back-to-back 40s there. Looks like we're going to get stopped out. Our stop out is 75 on this name. 10 cents worth of risk. We just took 25 right there, and we have a little small piece left. So far, so good here as we continue to look at the TQQs, and we do have our target spot on that. And guess what just happening here too? Apple will zoom back out a little bit. We just got a 221 or so fill there on Apple. So that is working out a little bit for us right now. So again, so far so good here today as this market just continues to be better and better for us here for some of these short plays as the NASDAQ trying to pull in as well. Apple now 12 cents. AMD, guys, AMD continues to get lower and lower right now. And I don't know. I mean, this is going to be a good trade for us. Looks like we have a chance to make it even a better one here for advanced micro devices. Breaking through 149.50 would be real nice, but still need a ways to go before that winds up coming through. But right now, there it is right here, 149.75 at the bottom of the day, it looks like here, Obi, for AMD. So, yeah, we've been holding good shorts. And then, by the way, for those of you that were like, hey, man, I thought this guy was tweeting all about Tesla. We were, and we are out now of Tesla at that 117.11 or 117.15 was where our fill came in on that one. So far, so good there to be able to ring a little bit of register there on Tesla at the bottom. Is it the bottom? I don't know. We're still waiting for that 220, to come back into play to see if we get that. My eyes are on the TQQs right now. AMD is, by the way, now almost $3 now in the money, breaking that level that we had just talked about a couple seconds ago. So, yeah, man, so far so good here as we continue to have a lot of fun trading some of these names with you live. Trader TV live.
Yes,
namesake.
Sir. Yeah, definitely. I think again, Tesla. I don't think you're out of your Tesla trade there, right?
Yeah.
But Tesla holding in and around this 219, 218 area here, wicks into 219. I was just watching it, aggressive push in towards that 219. I'm like, oh, is that VWAP at 220 incoming? Not really. We slam right back down, and we're printing 217 halves right there. So a little enticing kind of price action there. There is that tape speed and aggression coming in. 217s testing right now. There's a stack on the bid, holding 217s as of right now. But again, that the selling looking like it's starting to get a little bit aggressive here, maybe continuing this trend down that we've been having here on Tesla there. But oh boy, look at Google. Google's right back up at that 176 area.
Oh boy.
That anchored from today's or last night's earnings, sitting at that 165.75. So we're only about a point away from there. So maybe we got to wait for some higher levels to kind of look for a potential pullback in there. ARM is bouncing as well off of that 160 mark. I got that on watch. See what some of these other chips are up to. NVIDIA still trading well within its opening range there. Intel as well. Right. Intel, we've had eyes on Intel for the past couple of days there. Some interesting action there on Intel. It was holding a little bit of a range, but this morning, we broke below that range and started trading a little bit lower there, testing into that $32 mark on Intel. So let's take a quick look at that ticker and see what I'm talking about right here. So you can see that bit of a choppy range here, 3330s, 3320s, all the way down to 3280s here. 3 days, sideways consolidation. We hold that consolidation low with pre-market highs and also opening range high as well today, and we reject, and that is seeming like the break of the trend there as it's kind of flushing down harder, and that consolidation has now broken to the downside. A bit of a rejection here, Sean, of that 19.5 on the NASDAQ here. Mood lifter talking about check out some coin. Sure, we can do that. We can check out some coin as of right now. Coin, a little bit of a shake and bake action here. Pops up to 265, comes all the way down to 251. Wow, okay, so about a 15-point drop into 251s, only to print right back up 10 points into 260. So coin, definitely an interesting ticker there. A lot of kind of spready there. I did trade some coin a couple of days ago, about a point worth of spread at times, sometimes a little bit more there.
Which one?
But Coinbase.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like Coinbase.
That one's
a point spread sometimes?
Yeah.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
I've looked at that name, and I do get a little bit scared sometimes of those plays because of that, but you don't need to be. I think it's what we were talking about. You just got to make sure that you risk appropriate on some of those plays. So I just ended the trade right there, so we'll go a little slap side there on AMD. So we just finished that taking $3. So we got short there 152 and change, 152.40s or so. There's 149.75. We sat there, bidded it out, took it out. So we are now out of that play. And we just had a nice move down also in the TQs back into 37s. I did not have a bid there. I had a bid in the 40s, but we should put another one at 40. That was our best fill so far, as the market may be heading back to the upside, down 2.25. feel like that's probably a bit extended. Let me just move this out over here so we can see this just a little bit better right there. But we were tweeting out all of these plays earlier today, so I hope that some of you were able to make them. I'm just going over my account, and I want to thank everybody for liking and looking at their @TraderTV, Sean. Tesla, I feel like might have found a bottom here. I mean, I don't think that's rocket science. It keeps bouncing off 216.50 or so. We had gotten out there, but it is continuing that retracement. Okay, we're almost out of the TQs. So, okay, nice little pullback in. It almost took us out. If we're lucky enough to get a dip buy right here, I'm going to take something out at 67. There it is, 2 cents hit. We have a very small position. We have like less than 15% left of this trade, but we did miss that very bottom. I am bidding a little bit better now. We are flat on this trade with our current position. There it is. We bid a 60 because we get afraid. But why are we afraid, man? It just pulls right back for us again. So, all right, a decent trade there to be able to hold that pullback, but all we really did was just take it out for flat. So if that continues to work, great. AMD, nice out there as it bounces back. Quick check on NVIDIA. We could check out on some, okay, NVIDIA's doing nothing. Let me just check out on some Visa because we did talk about them earlier. Remember, I didn't think the quarter was that bad, but again, what you always want to do is look for some of those. I mean, not much volume. 3.5 million is okay. Not much volume in the pre-market though, but it still does hold that pre-market bottom. So I feel like if there's a name that you have a good feeling on, like that Tesla, then you wait for a pre-market break, especially if it is an earnings play, right? CrowdStrike, an earnings play, but not for a while, a play on breach. And they talked about that bad upgrade, bad rollout, or whatever that was today sends CrowdStrike back to the downside. Now that, of course, happened over here, but now you're getting a nice move back into those lows again for CrowdStrike. We've seen a bounce off 258 before 260. If you're in that mood, that could be a play for you as well. So crude out right now, a little quick draw there, more than expected. Was that did someone just say Ripple in my ear?
Crypto.
Oh, crypto. Yeah, so that's kind of like Ripple right there. Okay, I'm going to go get reloaded on a coffee. You're okay or you need one?
I'm good.
All right, and we're going to throw it over right now to Miss Adara for your crypto update or minute. Let's see what it's called.
Crypto corner. Now here, first day after
Yeah, sorry about that. Some mic problems there. But yeah, no, I'm still kind of observing this 175 here on Google. And this 175, we were failing to follow through here. We did come in a couple of times there, and aggressive bidding coming right back in through that 175. So it seems like that 175 is a bit of a hold as of right now here. And the NQs have slowed down a little bit as well, printing the first 15-minute candle there. How much is left on this 15-minute candle to print, you may ask? About 13 minutes and 40 seconds left. And we are attempting to push right back into that 19.5. So the question becomes now, Google showed a strong bid as the market fell, and we're consolidating near day highs, not necessarily pre-market highs, but intraday highs right here above the 175, which is where that anchored is kind of sitting from prior earnings area, and the market is now looking for a potential bounce back through that 19.5. So let's see what that 175 has in store. I got to be precise with my next entry. I did spend way too much of my risk kind of on these initial trades here on Google. Now I think we're ready for Crypto Watch with Adara. Let's go back.
Sorry about that, guys. Before we get to crypto, one thing worth noting here as well, I'm seeing a lot of circulation here of this tweet from Lisa Su from 53 minutes ago. Lisa Su, CEO of AMD, apparently at an event with Tesla recently, tweeting about great time being spent with the Tesla team, talking about AI leadership and more. So keep an eye on Tesla at AMD with regards to the recirculation of this tweet from about an hour ago. Ethereum ETFs, though, they had their debut yesterday, and they actually traded over $1 billion. This is not the same as what we saw in volume in terms of the Bitcoin ETF debuts. They had about $4.6 billion traded during their first day of trading, but spot Ethereum ETFs still doing well. Apparently, some of these ETFs as well, finishing the day among the top 50 ever US ETF debuts. So not a bad look here for some of these Ethereum ETFs. Bitcoin itself here, trying to continue in this uptrend we started after bouncing off of this 55,000 level. We had a little bit of struggle with 68, but now we're trying to push up above and eclipse that area, which we have had a bit of a run-in with earlier on the daily chart here. So BTC currently around that 67,000 level. We have Ethereum slightly down on the day here, down about 0.6%, around that 3450 area. A lot of these other names a little strong though. Ripple here up about 5.5%. Solana up 1.5%. Dogecoin up almost 1%. But then we have other names like Cardano and Avalanche slightly down on the day. So a bit of a mixed sentiment here in the crypto space, guys.
Right. Yeah. Those new Ethereum ETFs, definitely an interesting look. Volume apparently is still coming into it.
Yep.
Have you dabbled?
I've not. I'm not even familiar with any of the symbols, to be honest with you.
ETHA on the DAC and then ETHE on the NYSE, I think.
I thought there was ETH.
ETHE.
I thought there was something very, very similar there. Yeah, there it is. ETH on NYSE Amex. So it's only for some reason it's only $3. So this is a name here where I don't know if what's exactly going to happen here with the space, but good question there. No, I have not dabbled into any of these. I still own the trusts. So not the Grayscale one, the Purpose Trust here in Canada. So ETHC, I believe that is, or ETHH or something like that. BTCC is the look there for the Bitcoin purpose. So right there, just quickly, man, $77, nice little move up there for USO. We did have oil inventories as well come through today. Let me just check out what my some of these Canadian banks are up to there. I forget what the Canadian bank ETF is. It's XFN, I think, maybe. But there's a nice move up. There's that interest rate announcement at 10 o'clock. Or 9:45, I guess. Was it? Yeah, it was 9:45. Actually went down on that announcement. So nice little move there. Okay, so by the way, before we get too carried away, Apple just came in. It's back at its lows right now. We were only giving this one to 24 cents. Just want to make sure that order is still in. So yes, Apple could come out just as fast as it comes in right now. As Tesla's making again, it's not making new lows, but it is, okay, now I got to get some more out of this Apple as we sat there and took a trade on Apple. Where did I just buy that stock at? 45s. So we got to get upside a little bit more. Why was I buying 45s as my stop was 30s? Oh, yeah, 15 cents is fine. But in this kind of a market, probably didn't give this enough room. So I'm still going to honor this stop out here. It's probably not big enough, but honestly, this just hit downside there, like as if there was. The market didn't do anything. The market's actually going up right now, and Apple just ticked lower. I was not expecting this. I was actually looking to get out of the rest of this near these highs, as with the 50 period just continues to come lower and lower. So I was like, what am I doing holding for this? First, let's get out here. And now it looks like, so I'm honoring this stop. My hands are off the keyboard right now. If this breaks below 220, I might actually just get out. I mean, I don't know what's up with this. I might take a piece out here if we can get back up into those 40s because it's looking, there it is. So it's looking, yeah, we're going to get stopped out. Looking like it wants to break lower. There's no stopping this move. The sellers are not, there it is. The sellers are not coming off the ask right there. So we'll flush down that last piece there on Apple and just, oh, wrong button, fail. We don't need to hit any sirens because it's coming down into 220. I wonder if this is just a 220 straight clean break now on Apple. I think I'm willing to try that. To be honest with you, it's coming back in. It's Apple. It's taking lower lows, lower highs right now. As you just continue to see, if I took away some of these, you would be able to see that we just not able to get going. And now we have that stop. But if I take a 220, I kind of have to give it back to here. So let's think about it. A 220 break. I'm going to put it in to take some shares here, see if we can get it. We did have a big break, obviously, on Tesla that worked, and now there's Tesla going to the downside as well. We're huge in the TQQs right now, by the way, as this making lows as well right there. So there goes the TQQs. Here comes Apple. We are going to test a little bit of a low. Your Google's coming back off 175 right now.
Yeah, I got eyes on it. 175 finally kind of breaking there. Bit of a sideways consolidation we had for over about 30 minutes there on the goggles. And yeah, breaking back below that 175, 174.60s, 174.75s testing as of right now. VWAP in and around that 174.20. So we're headed right for that level right here. There goes that low there. So again, the market is rejecting that 19.5 as of right now. And it seems like that selling pressure is kind of attempting to come right back in, or coming into Google finally there after the bid attempted to push that 175. We got aggressive attempts towards 176 a bunch of times, but we just made lower highs, lower highs, lower highs, building into a bit of a flat bottom at that 175, which is finally attempting to break as of right now. But you can see it did attempt to break once, and I got aggressive through the 175, but I had to give it right back because that bid came in real hot, and we got another test of that 176. So I do want to be wary of that. But take a look at these markets, man. We're printing fresh lows on both the NASDAQ and the ES here. So a lot of these tickers, Softy making fresh lows, Apple making fresh lows there as well. Google finally starting to curl over. And yeah, so again, Tesla as well. Tesla pushing for that 216. We could not get above up to that 220 there. So that short is definitely working as of right now on both I guess the market and Tesla. VWAP still trading above VWAP here on the goggle. So both of these earnings names kind of were my top names today. I did kind of intend to put a little bit of risk on, definitely put on way too much risk on the goggle trade there. So I've got to be precise with the next one. What is the next trade? I am asking myself. Seems like that morning momentum. Definitely shout out to Yanni there. I was just like, he was like, oh, trade with the trend. And I'm like, all right, cool. I'm going to trade with the trend. What do? I try to counter the move. GG's indeed on that one there. Google, very, very strong. I got to do better with respecting information, man. Like, the market is dropping and Google is holding the bid. So what does that tell you, right? Maybe buyers are in charge.
It literally tells you everything.
It tells you everything that you need to know. I need to respect that. Why am I shorting first of all, before my level even comes up? That's 175 is the level I'm looking for. Why am I starting the short at 174? That's an initial mistake there. And then why am I shorting it, continuing all the way up to 176? That's 2 points worth of risk there. So off my initial entries, and I'm anchoring to the idea that 175 is my level, and I'm giving it 1 point off of that. End up holding 2 points on some of these initial entries. They're spending way, way too much risk and just anchoring to the wrong idea there. So I do have to do much better on that. Market is coming in. We're selling off. Who has the shorts?
I do.
I'm asking in the chat. I know Sean definitely.
I just put on a new one. That's why I didn't want to interrupt you. But we just got another play on right now. We're now 50 cents in the money on this one. NVIDIA. We just put it on right here. I just started. We just put this on right here. Okay, good. At the 50 period moving average. Just don't want to upset you, Ramin. Right there, 118.70. We put that on, giving ourselves to 119 as a break. Here, this comes back in. It's NVIDIA and starting to go lower. I'm bidding something in the 20s right now. We did give up our AMD about $1 ago, so that was a mistake. But hey, taking 250 or whatever it was, I thought was pretty good at the time. But it is lower as well. So we'll pick on NVIDIA now and see how low this name could go. We're also in a scare zone for Apple, looking to break through 220 as well. Man, these shorts have just been so good. Today, we've only had shorts. Look what we're doing. Look at the damage being done here, Sharif, on these futures. We just shorted the NASDAQ as well, and that's really starting to go on. You are right. I should wear shorts more often and then just keep on pumping through on these shorts right now. But there goes the TQs. I mean, here we go, man. You're now 50 cents in the money as we hit the sirens. We started this trade. Look, we like the short once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 6 times, 7 times. We just loaded up the short here today as we stay with Friendly, trendy, and right there coming back in is NVIDIA. I think we'll take another bid out here. We're pretty light on the TQs right now, so I'm just going to try to hold out for that, see if it continues to go lower and see if we can make something happen. I just bid 118.40, trying to take 30 cents here on NVIDIA. And there it is. We'll come back with what's for lunch because I think a lot of people are wondering that, and we've just hit a banana with our coffee as well. All right, she's standing over there at the screen and going to get upset at me in a couple minutes. It's Adara.
Lots of red here in this market. Quite a few sectors are notably down to the day. Of course, these tech sectors kicking things off. Electronic technology, all these chips decisively to the downside. Then we have Google breaking down the technology services sector here as well, though Netflix a couple days after earnings actually holding up quite well compared to the others in its sector. Also notably red are producer manufacturing, consumer services, and commercial services. Visa, V in commercial services here, bringing down the rest of this group. We also have Tesla for consumer durables and GM here with a downgrade. Both of these recent earnings names bringing down that group as well. But a couple sectors with some strength. We did just have energy minerals here popping up on some of those energy stock numbers. We have utilities to the upside. Communications not bad either here. T had earnings. They did miss revenue and have inline EPS, but had higher than expected net wireless adds. So good look for AT&T. Other weak sectors include retail, trade, and consumer non-durables, but definitely the tech and producer manufacturing sides of things really dragging this market to the downside, guys.
Yeah, that map is blood red there. That's absolutely wild. Yeah, definitely very reflective of what the market is doing. Here, testing 19,450s now here on the NASDAQ. And then, yeah, we are just teetering just about 10 points above that 5,500 on the ES here. People in the chat talking about AMD. I know you were in AMD a little bit earlier here, but let's take a quick look at AMD. We know that NVIDIA is still trading below that VWAP as of right now. AMD, wow, okay, so this thing has sold off quite aggressively. 153.69 high of day, and we've only sold off since then. Not really catching any real bid off of the open, only selling there. What's going on with Apple?
I missed
saying,
it, dude.
okay, we talk about that range. Oh boy, all right. So with that range that's been happening for the past few days, broke down very aggressively, 223s all the way down to 219 halves there, Sean. Wow.
Fail.
That's
fail.
Range
Fail.
break.
Fail. Fail. We didn't punch far enough. We don't have the short. Oh, we wanted that short, man. That was going to be. No, Rabin. No, that ain't it. Oh, man, that sucks. Okay, well, we have some short. We're short at 70, but I had to punch that 70. Oh, man, I only crossed the 80s there. All right. That's my bad. I didn't think Apple was going to break the way it just did right there, but it did. Oh, man. Okay. Okay. What's up, Tizo touchdown? Anybody know Tizo touchdown? Exactly, man. Not everyone's as cultured as your boy over here. Tizo touchdown.
I have no idea who that
Look
is.
up Tizo touchdown. Your artist of 2025. Tizo touchdown. Look him up. Fine. You know, whatever, man. All right, here we go. Let's see what happens to the downside right now. 219.50. No, I saw him with Travis Scott. He was awesome. All right, so here goes Apple. Let's see if we can get a 220 or so push. Now, if we can get back up, we'll take that right now and see if we can get something. That might be something positive for us. NVIDIA is now trying to break 118. We just got a 118.20 coming through here again. But we said we'd do this and we came back and we're going to do it right now because what's for lunch, people are wondering. All right, what is for lunch? Today's lunch should be a good one, but not if your name is Adara because today's lunch is jerk chicken breast. It's like a -1 on the heat scale, but it'll probably be a little bit too much. We also have roasted sweet potatoes with a little bit of cinnamon and then a nice little touch of corn on the cob as a side. So that looks pretty good to me. I think that sounds pretty good. It doesn't look pretty good. I haven't seen it yet. But that should be a good one there to appreciate the corn on the cob. But there goes Apple again, man. Let's go. We'll take a piece out right there. This should be an absolutely monstrous trade for us, and I'm embarrassed to tell you that it is not. Because again, look, we're just like I said, we're up more today than we were yesterday, but we did only get filled half of our breaker 19 on Tesla. So potentially, and Neil and I talk about this all the time, and I know you know this too, Obi, there's many different keys you can use, obviously, to get filled. And I just maybe, the one I'm using is hanging a little bit and I'm not getting everything. But again, I'd have to go back and see if any of the guys on the floor were able to get that Apple break and maybe what they got and what prices they got, because I did cross down 20 cents and missed it. So I don't know if it immediately just got marketed there, which would make sense. That is what happened. It's a big, big volume spike. I mean, the minute you broke that 220, you knew there was something coming. So what I put there is a trigger, and we just took, by the way, 50 cents right there as we take that out right there at 220, at 219.25, so 75 to 25 there. What we're looking at was a 220 break. So I put my stop in at 219.99 or 98. I think it was probably, this one was 99. So as soon as that triggers right here on our time and sales, that will fill me. So if you come over, yeah, there it is. So as soon as that triggers on here, it says 219, then my order will go out and it will represent whatever I tell it to do. So I told it to go limit order down to 219.80. So it did that, but others must have gone to 70s and 60s and whatever. So it all wipes down the level, and you sometimes do get missed. But you know what? It just went a dollar club right now as well, NVIDIA. So like we had $8 on Tesla. We now have $1 on NVIDIA. We had $3 on AMD. We've had multiple wins on Apple there, but this one currently that we're holding 50 cents. The market right now, the TQs, you know where we're short at? 10.18. So let's say that time. So if we go over here to 9.18, that was at 19,490. It's now at 19,430. So 70 handles in the money on the TQQs as well. And then the biggest trade for me today, net-wise, is going to be Tesla. And that's the end of that one. So let's see if Apple breaks now 219. Again, should be short, am not, and not feeling great about it. So that's, well, we're short, but you could have been short a lot more. So that's that trade right there. AMD's at the low of the day. Yeah, so we got out $1 ago, but I'm not going to hit the fail on that. I feel really good about this trading that we've been doing right now. We've already mentioned that we are having one of our better months. So hard to sit here and complain about some of the decisions that we made, but I do understand that there's been better trades. Today, it's just AMD for me today. Apple, NVIDIA, the market, and Tesla. I mean, that's murderer's row. Those are the names that everyone, we're looking at today off of earnings, and then you were looking at Google. So, I mean, I think that we are looking at the right names. We just got to keep looking, find more and more opportunities. It's 10.50 right now. And yeah, wow, I feel like this is sort of blown right by and blown right through. So again, thanks Obi for stepping up there for Neil today. He'll be back tomorrow, is my understanding. And then I'm off Friday as the High Park All Rep Girls team is going to put a hurt on some teams at the OMG tournament. So, all right, back over there to the desk. Let's go find out what's up with Money Talk.
EXY down on the day here, coming back to test that previous area of support resistance. We've seen coming back a few times here. It's going to be that 104.10 area. We did get some economic data today. Retail inventories ex auto for June up about 0.2%. We have new home sales as well, lower than expected, 617,000 for June versus the estimate of 639,000 at 9:45 as well. We had some flash PMI here coming from S&P Global. We had composite PMI 55 versus the estimate of 54.8, slightly higher than expected. We also had slightly higher than expected global services PMI 56 versus 54.7 expected. And last but not least, we had the S&P Global manufacturing PMI lower than expected for this one, 49.5 versus the estimate of 51.7 here. A couple of Fed speakers after the close, Feds Logan and Feds Bowman, as we head into the FOMC meeting next week. But keep an eye here as well on the USD to CAD. We did have those rate cuts coming through for Canada exactly as expected. So could be an interesting currency to keep an eye on as we head into the rest of the day, guys.
We'll take 70 cents there on NVIDIA there as it's starting to go down into the low of the day, but we have to take something out right there. We don't have to, but we did. It is going to be $1, it looks like, on this TQ position. Wow, I was not expecting this. The more and more I trade this instrument here, the more I like it. So this has been great. We did look at SPXL as well. Bears vs. Bulls will know that. He helped me out to find that symbol, something similar to the TQQs. But again, like, come on, man. I mean, this has been the day. We had talked about this. We had even, Obi, you and I looked at each other when Yannick mentioned that, and it was like, trade the trend. And I'm going to keep dropping that in there because I honestly feel like there is no more important thing than for me to throw to Adara right now.
Keep an eye on NVDA here, guys. I'm seeing a circulation of this report from The Information, which actually came out this morning, basically saying that NVIDIA's new China chip has been designed with special servers to skirt the U.S. rules. So this report came out earlier today around 7:45 a.m., but it's being circulated now from The Information. Just to repeat, NVIDIA's new China chip apparently has special server design to skirt U.S. rules with regards to the China imports. So just keep an eye on NVDA with regards to this report. Again, the report itself did come out earlier today, guys.
Yup. Yeah, so same story there, but thanks to Dara. I just did hear that as well in my ear. Thank you to the Benzinga Pro platform one more time for that look as well. That had nothing to do with my decision. I felt like that was an older news story. You guys know that. I mean, we just have to be who we are, and that is shorting, longing, using some of these VWAP trades as indicators for us, trying to pick out the right names, put out free information, like what we have here on the stick, Tesla short, Nvidia short, Apple long. The Apple long didn't work out, but we're still doing okay on Apple. And then the Rivian 1640 break. Let me just double check where that one is right now for RIVN. Okay, so right here. So again, this is the break that we're talking about, right? We looked at Rivian yesterday, we didn't look at it yesterday. We looked at this level there yesterday. That was 1660. This little level right there is 1650. And then we went over to the daily chart, and this is how we found Rivian 1640. It was this level right there. Maybe I can zoom in just a little bit. I still have to watch my positions here. As there goes NVIDIA, man. Now NVIDIA is $1.20 in the money and going lower. Every single trade we put on today has gone at least $1 in the money, at least. Every single trade has gone at least $1 in the money, and none of them have even gone 50 cents against me. So, but it was this break right here, 40 break, that we liked. Once that's broken now, I feel like the trade might be done. I still like Rivian up here at 17. It would be my guess that we don't get anywhere near there today. All right, here it goes. Qs. Well, Apple was the only one that hadn't gone $1 or had it gone $1 from here. I think it might have gone $1 upside. It was just 90 cents in the money, but we just bounced right there pretty nicely off 219. Actually, we had broken it twice now. That bottom is 218.80. Well, it probably says on here. Yeah, there it is, 218.80 as a bottom take there for Apple. So maybe just a quick look. If it can break that, we don't have any bids, but, I think we just continue to go lower. We all feel stupid, I feel like, right now, if you had not sold something up top here on some of these names. But again, I don't think it's the end of the world here. It is a decent pullback. If we're going to look at Apple or at the Qs, we still have 50-period moving average at 210 right there. And then on the NASDAQ itself, which is the broader market, of course, you're going to see that you're still a couple points away, I guess, from that 50-period, through the couple points through the 50-period, looking for that 200-period, which was, I don't know why it's not loading, but I believe it's down here near 420. So we'll wait to see, but there we go, man. That's the break. So right there, a high OB of 505 and right back down now to 465. So you're looking at roughly 7% pullback now in the NASDAQ from its highs, with nearly a third of it happening today. So who would have thought that, right? Tesla earnings, Google earnings, and the NASDAQ has probably its worst day. Can we look that up? Oh, Adair's getting Sharif a coffee, I think. Okay, Sharif's right here. What is the last worst day of the NASDAQ? Like, what was the worst last day? What was the worst day of the NASDAQ recently?
Yeah, in recent time.
I was going to say we can ask Perplexity or something, or Gemini. I just feel like me and Neil sit here and we always talk about, like, will the NASDAQ go 3%? I feel like it hasn't gone 3% in a long time. I know the S&P 500 has not moved 2%, I think, in like 380 days or something like that of trading. So there's been a lot, almost a year and a half or 2 years that the ES, I believe, has moved 2%. The NASDAQ, obviously, it's moved 2%. We've seen that move there numerous times. I'm going to up that to 3%, see when the last time that happened, during the war. We did have a 3% day last week down on the NASDAQ. It's still the March 2020 dip is the worst day recently for the NASDAQ. I wonder how much that was down. I thought we were at one point, remember we were looking at the circuit breakers? I feel like we were down almost 5-6% on those days. So we'll double check the math on all of that. Thanks, Sharif, for looking that up for us right there as we go. All right. We're really light on everything, man. Tesla is the one name that I think if you're going to look at something here into the close or into the afternoon, probably Tesla. It looks like it's trying to find a base. You do talk about like smiley faces and whatnot. This could just be that smiley face that you're looking for right now, bouncing off their Tesla. But don't take too much risk because you're going to have to hold it at least to this level, 215.50. So like if you're taking 100 shares right now, put down minus 300 in your mind if you're going to hold it all the way back down to there. Or if that is your default, then wait for it to pull back into the 50 period of 217 maybe, and then put on maybe half, and then figure out what you want to do if it gets down here. There's enough movement in this market, and this is what I'm noticing, Obi, and I'm sure you noticed that as well today, and you talked about risk management and things like that. Yeah. Just with a small amount of shares, things can get carried away. Yeah. Because of how this market is moving.
Aggressive.
So exactly. So if you're trading some of these aggressive names, get ready to get aggressive. And make sure that you don't put on an overly aggressive position unless you're in that spot. So that's my advice here heading into the midday show, where they are doing exhaustion gaps.
Ooh, okay.
So exhaustion gaps coming through here in the midday show. Pay attention to that. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Thanks to Bears versus Bulls, all of that. Neil is getting, I think, his cast taken off and then re-put on.
Yeah.
Just seeing how that's all playing out for him. So
hopefully it's healed up a little bit.
Hopefully he'll be back in the saddle tomorrow. And if not, we'll figure that out. So, all right, Obi, with last 1 minute to go, you'll be joining me again at 2:00.
Yes, sir. Yeah, no, again, market came all the way in to that 19.400 there, selling off about 2.5% to the downside right here on the NASDAQ. And guess what? Google is still chopping around, dancing around this 175 interesting area here. We did get a reversion into VWAP there. We tested 74s and change, but we bid right back up. So the bid is definitely there as of right now, a little bit on top of VWAP there as we bid right back up into that 175 while the market continues to make some fresh lows there. But some crazy morning off of the open there. I got to do better with managing my risk for sure. Again, taking that advice from Sean, that 175 coming right back in. Look at that. It's no real size, but we keep on orbiting in and around this 175. So I'm going to give it some more time there. But yeah, softy to the downside. Apple, fresh lows as of right now as well. And oh wow, okay, so Amazon slammed all the way down to pre-market lows there in the previous 30 minutes. I wasn't even watching there. The 10:30 candle on the 15 minutes slams right back in to some of those pre-market levels. Take a quick look at that before we let you guys go. Look at that. Look at that fade all the way back down. So a nice little slam of the VWAP, failure to hold there, and then comes right into that day low. So it should be interesting day going forward, but it is 11 o'clock, Sean. So without any further ado, we got a little bit of learning to do with exhaustion gaps with Sharif and Adara.
Yeah, Obi, slow down on your excitement.
I gotta have some more coffee, man.
It's midday madness. It's Sharif and Adara. Here we go. We'll enjoy some jerk chicken. See you guys.